favor? Okay, Mr. Solicitor?
Thank you, Ed. As opposed.
Oh, sorry.
You were opposed? Yep.
So at the executive session, the council had a long discussion regarding the healthcare plan related to the town, to employees. The council, after much debate and discussion, including consultation with its labor council, Mr. Tim Cavassa, the council voted 5-1 to continue the healthcare coverage as is, with one abstention being Mr. Burk, and the negative vote was the chair of the president of the city town council. Excuse me. All I have to report. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next up on the agenda is review, discussion, and possible vote on the FY27 expenditure budget for all municipal departments. Let's see how many of these we can get through in a timely fashion. Mr. Administrator, I don't know if you want to, who would you like to talk to first?
Why don't we start,
Want to start at the beginning and just go down?
So what I would offer to the council, knowing that we did not have our meeting last Thursday, and we have another meeting scheduled for next Thursday. So I would offer to the council that we take the bulk of our municipal side, our police department, our fire department, and our DPW first to see where we are. And if where we are as far as, because knowing that we have, your whole municipal side is here tonight, to see where we are after we do those big three budgets, as they are pretty much the bulk of the municipal side of the budget. Then we can make a determination, because we definitely have to have a third meeting before the charter requirement of May 13th to set the date for the public hearing. So knowing that we can always continue it next time or with Thursday, but I know the school department budget, I'm sure is going to be an in-depth conversation. I would offer to the council that if we do not finish, or if the council wants to set like a hard deadline tonight, that we schedule a meeting on Tuesday, May 12th, to continue the municipal discussion that we do not finish tonight. And I just offer that, and that's just for your discussion. But
Okay.
I would offer to all of you that I would ask Chief Costa to start with the police department presentation.
All right, Chief.
Council, we had a department head meeting today, and they flipped a coin, the chief won. Agreed.
You get that lovely presentation.
All right, chief salaries, we'll start in that one, 3310. Oh, sorry, that's the fire department, hold on. 3330.
Sorry.
8.
So, the administrator, I know that we had, sir, the one that I proposed, and then we had the one that you and I came up with. Which one are we working off of, just for the record here?
Why don't we work, and I know you can speak to it, chief, why don't we work with the town administrator's recommended budget?
Fine.
The April 15th.
227?
I'm looking at the April 15th one.
You're looking at the, which actual, sir?
No, there's an April 15th one that I just got.
So the one that was submitted to you on 3/26, let's work off that one.
I don't have that one.
You got the PDF that was printed. When you print a PDF,
Red light.
it's the same thing, but it gets printed with a posting.
With a new date.
I got it. I got it.
And as we go, Counselor.
Because I got it from you. And yeah, okay.
When you print out a PDF,
It'll show the 415. Okay. I have a couple of questions. You want me to?
Chief, why don't you start, take us through your budget, and then we'll let the council ask some questions.
Do you want to go line by line, sir, or how would you like to do this today?
Well, I mean, you can certainly lump things like certain salaries and stuff together if you want.
Okay. We broke this down, as you can see, in the first section of this. One captain, 6 lieutenants, sergeants, detectives, corporals, how many first class, second class, probationary officers, all of those things that we took into consideration, and all those are basically contract contingency items. So that's where the bulk of those numbers come from.
I do have a question. Why did the detectives go up 420%?
So
Because
Detectives, corporals.
detective corporals went up from 78,000 to 410.
Yep, so If you remember when we had one of the council meetings where we made mandatory supervisors and we added additional
Yep.
corporals to that. So that is that's the contract contingency for adding the corporals on. We added 3 more corporals. Those positions came with pay increases, mandatory overtime for the corporals, and everything that goes along with the rank promotions.
So the second class went down, so some of those went up to corporals?
Some of them were, promoted, so they start off as 4th class, and then they move up through the ranks, 4th class.
Okay.
You'll see that some go to 2nd class and then 1st class and so on.
All right, thank you.
Are you fully staffed right now?
Right now, we are not. We are still down, I believe, 2. So we are looking to put 1 in the academy in July, but I also have some retirements that we have coming up. Sergeant Brillen has submitted his paperwork that he's going to be retiring. He's leaving in June, and his official retirement date will be later on in the summer when he exhausts the rest of his time. I will still be down more officers, yes. The items that if you look down, we get
Can we
to,
stay on the salaries?
sure.
Just for, so, I don't, with your new contract, is there anything funded? Do you have pay raise coming up, pay raises at all?
It's in here.
So,
It says 0 on this one,
for me, myself,
yes.
so this budget does not reflect the pay raise for myself or for the deputy chief.
I don't see
I
the
was-
deputy chief's salary in here.
Go down the line, sir.
Yeah, it's down. No.
Yes, it's about halfway down, sir.
It's the last salary.
So,
Sorry,
so
the
your
very last one,
raise
all right.
for next year is not,
I did not put a raise in for myself. I did not put a raise in for the deputy
Okay.
chief. I thought that that would be coming from council contingency funds after an evaluation period when our
And
time was up.
just to remind the council, a couple of years ago when, I think Patricia Hilton sat in this seat, that was her big bugaboo, was we don't mandatorily put in for management. There were no mandatory raises put into the
Right.
budget.
Right.
It's a pool of money that the administrator can use at his discretion, so it could be a 0 to 3 to 7 if you've got a high performer.
Okay, that's fine, I saw 0 and 0, and I thought contractually something was coming, I just didn't know what comes out of what area.
If I may, just for the council. So you'll see that unless a department head is getting a pay raise before June 30th, that will be reflective on the July 1st budget, you will see a 0. So this way, when their contract and their evaluations come up during the next fiscal year, they'll be evaluated, I'll make a presentation to you, and with the evaluation, we'll meet with the employee, and then it's up to the council to take my recommendation for a pay increase to approve. The other thing that I want to note too, and I know the chief will speak about it, and chief, what percentage of pay increases are you giving to IBPO and AFSCME this year? Just so we can stay on salary for the
it's
council.
on here.
IBPO and salary, so the actual percentage number, I know that they're getting raises every 6 months to get caught up. What that number is off the top of my head, sir, I don't have the contract in front of
But
me.
is it
I don't-
reflected in here?
It is reflected in
Okay.
here. It is reflected in the budget, the pay raises because they were getting pay raises every 6 months. And that is reflected in the salaries, and it is reflected in at the higher amounts that they're going to be projected at.
Perfect.
Chief, I have a follow-up question for you. Overtime, school security and training,
Yes,
we took that down to 0.
we did. If you recall, a few years ago, we had an issue with the school resource officer, and at the time when he was removed from the school, the administrator, the former chief, and the council agreed that they would put that $20,000 away, and that was paying for overtime to make sure that we could still put someone in the school in the absence of the school resource officer.
Okay, thank you.
That's been corrected since. We have a great school resource officer now. That money is no longer needed with the implementation of the community policing division. When the school resource officer is not available, we supplement now with the lieutenant from community policing. So that was the reason to take that money out of the budget.
Follow-up question for you, the education incentive. Looks like we spent 40 grand FY 24-25. We did 60 last year. Are we anticipating?
I do have more officers going to school this year, so that's why you see that there.
We have a much younger department, correct?
We do. And like I said, right now, I know of at least 2 or 3 officers that are currently in school, and I'm thinking that we might even get 1 more before the school season starts again.
What about the longevity piece?
Longevity, the increase that you see there is again contractual. I also have, we're lucky, more offices are staying, so now more offices are triggering that timeline, which they're now getting their longevity incentives.
And the holiday increases because we added another holiday this year
We
for
did add
everybody
a, we did
across
add a
the board.
holiday increase, and then there were
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth. And then we also, they got an additional bump in their salary, on their holiday pay, so
They
that's
did.
the increase.
Okay.
So back to the holiday pay for a second. We're just throwing a number out here at 260, or is this
We are not.
something we calculated based off of?
That's a
Okay.
calculated number for what I would expect, who's working the holidays, or what we expect to fill them.
Chief, on shift differential?
Shift differential, again, a contractual agreement. They were given a 50% increase in shift differential in their contract, so that reflects the increase. And we were underfunded on it last year. I will be coming in front of the council in the next month or so with several transfers to make up for the shortfalls from last year.
You're over $4,800 so far this year.
Yes, sir.
You allocated 16,000, you spent 20,817.
On the shift differential,
Right.
Yeah.
correct.
So is 36 gonna be enough for next year?
I hope so. We're looking at also, not only did the police department get the shift differential increases, but with the signing of the ASME contract, they're also getting shift differential increases too. Projected it in there as best as I could, and that's why you see the increase.
The animal control expenses,
Your expenses or salary?
expenses I'm looking at, you haven't spent any of that.
We
And-
haven't, but I can tell you that we are going to. I've met with Tori this week, and it's usually her expenses are carried more towards the end of the year, and she'll give me a list of the items that she needs to get ready for what's coming.
Can I just clarify on holiday, is that just for the people who are working on the holiday? Don't they get like a benefited bank of holidays
Yes,
too?
so the officers are guaranteed so many holidays a year, whether they work them or not. And then if they work them, then they get the time and a half for
Okay.
working the holiday.
And if they don't work it, they can use it for a different day, but it's still a holiday bank?
They can't use it for a different day, but they do get
They
paid
get
for the
paid for
holiday.
it,
Yes,
okay.
correct.
And
Animal,
that's all in that line, I'm sorry.
That's all
It is, yes,
Okay.
animal shelter,
yes.
you increased it, but you have 16,000 left over.
Yep, so we will have to make that payment coming up to Potter League.
So how much is that?
We are working with the Potter League right now. I had reached out to them as early as today, they didn't get back to us. We know that they are the only game in town right now for us,
It's not 16,000, is it?
for,
Well, because you have 16,000 left of that,
yes, so
and you
I,
asked for an increase.
yes, so we're gonna have to make the rest of that payment for the rest of this fiscal or whatever that amount is going to be. And we did reach out to them, and they have assured me that there will be an increase in next year, for next year.
So it'll be 31,000 when we are almost done with this budget, and we have 16,000 left?
I believe so. When we talked to them today, we're talking about the animal shelter
Animal shelter.
6470,
Right, so
Yep.
last year you got 27,
27th,
and you've only spent
27.3.
40% of that as of now, as of the last thing that Denise gave us, April 22nd.
331 is
Oh, one time
Yeah.
is it?
yeah, it's the financials we got in our last backup were
Yeah.
to 331.
So you,
Still 3 months remaining.
yeah, but we just went through
You know,
9 months and.
Exactly, I know, I agree with you.
16,000 is left over.
The treasurer just.
Oh, you are here, I'm
Yeah,
so glad
the
you're
treasurer
here.
just took, this answer.
quarterly, and their billings always behind.
But about how much is it?
I think we owe them another 11,000
You owe them another 11,000, and that'll be for this year.
for this fiscal year.
And there
And
is,
so then you'll have 5,000 left over.
yep, but I'm also expecting, when we reached out to them, and they sent us over a contract that was incorrect. There was a lot of mistakes in it, so I sent it back. Reached out to them again today, and as late as this afternoon, they didn't get back to us. And they are assuring us that there is going to be an increase. They are the only game in town. We'd obviously, we don't have Secundit Vet or anybody else anymore to use. So they're the only ones in the area that we can take advantage of at this time.
It was interesting because it was 22 the year before, 27 this time, and now 31. And we haven't spent it all. All right.
Chief, I have a question with that animal control and the shelter.
On the shelter or the?
No, the same topic with the shelter. Have we reached out to Fall River? Or is there a law that we
You
can't do
can't
that?
can't cross state
Please,
lines.
please
It would
don't
be-
bring up,
it
please
would
don't
be-
bring up the dogs.
It would be
You can't
great,
take a dog and
but
bring it over
again,
there.
not to go down the rabbit hole.
It's
it
like,
would
there
be
was like a
super
45-minute
convenient,
discussion, and
but
we
we
gouged
can't
my eyes
transport
out.
animals over the state line.
For some reason, you can't bring an animal over the state line.
But cats, you can bring cats, but not dogs.
No,
It
you
was-
can't bring either one, I don't think, right? But what gets me is a forever cat we catch. We call it Rhode Island cat, because the animal shelter because they can cross right over the line themselves.
All right.
Those
Chief,
are called alley cats.
I have another question for you here. 5181 summer rec patrols. We're swinging 35 grand again. It looks like in 24-25 we spent 53.
Yes.
Year to date we've burned. Where are we?
Where are you, at what number?
5181 summer patrols. So year to date we've spent 20 grand. We've got 15 grand left.
So,
Which I understand we're not bringing those guys on until.
exactly. So it's all timing. It's when they come on at certain times of the year. We've also now have allotted this money just to the CSOs and not the overtime that we were paying out initially
Yes.
for that
Okay.
large
We
number
saved
to
money.
officers. So we're saving that money. We were able to work within the budget that we set last year, and I think that we had a very good season with everything last year, and we were successful. I think we can work within those guidelines again this year.
Explain what summer patrols mean. It'd be like the fireworks and that kind of stuff.
They're all the CSOs that you see, right?
Right.
At the summer concert series, at the
Okay.
parades, the
Okay.
beaches, all of those
That's what I
things.
thought.
That's who's covering.
I think we can save that.
If I may, Mr. President, members of the council, just
Yes.
to kind of go back to salaries, and we're going to talk about this with the fire chief as well. As you can see from your overtime, which I know is always a point of contention that we have to look at. If you look at the historicals from the police department, you know it's always, and with public safety, it's always a moving target. So knowing that this year, and I believe it's the first year, we haven't had a budget committee as an intermediary between myself and the council. So you are essentially acting in that role as well. So you'll see many of these numbers that are reflective of the department head's ask, but also the chief did ask for additional personnel, which I did take out of the budget, both police and fire. But remember, by asking for additional personnel, and we are now at a point that we're enjoying that we're fortunate that both our public safety departments are nearly fully staffed. I know the fire chief can speak to it, and I know the police chief, he's always going to chase that because of the length of the police academy. But historically in the past, when we had these issues with overtime, what we would do is we would repurpose the vacant salary into overtime. So again, I know that this is something that we need to discuss, but now that we're at a point that we have full staffed or nearly full staffed public safety agencies, those vacant salaries are not going to be available to supplement overtime.
But a lot of the overtime costs, especially with the fire department, was because of the vacancies. So
Correct.
keep that in mind.
Correct. Well, it is also because of the low salaries that we couldn't retain people.
Right,
as well.
so their overtime was astronomical.
That is correct.
And that was because we were filling in this with overtime.
There were multiple
Yeah, because I have a
problems.
question when we get to fire, but.
Yes, ma'am.
But that's the reason.
I just want to give the council that warning, that you see that number, and I know it's definitely something that we need to talk about. But what we would normally do is have those vacancies that we could pull from to compensate for overtime. And without those vacancies, or those vacancies being there,
We
that
can't
funding is not
compensate.
going to be there.
Overtime is more, I've learned this through negotiations. In the summer is when you pay a lot of overtime because of vacation. Am I correct? That's when,
You know, this is very tough to predict. That's like asking
Right.
the police department when we're gonna be the busiest and when we're not.
well,
and
yeah, but
we're
I
busy
did
on a Tuesday.
notice, like when I looked at the trending years ago, that we spent, like, you only have
I would say.
like you've spent 90%.
I would say historically, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But coming out of the winter and everything that we had.
Well, yes,
Bringing in
it was
extra
abnormal,
staffing for
yes.
storms. Also, when you look at this number, I know that I have a very large amount of officers who are going out on FMLA with new additions to their families and everything else.
They have to stop that.
It's, there are quite a few, so I know that we're going to be getting into this very quickly in the summertime and going through this.
I notice your
this
summertime
full-time
is
dollars.
usually higher.
It is.
All right.
Please continue. If
Where would
not,
you
I
like
have-
to go?
I have the final question, which
Sure.
yes, you get to draw the short straw by being the first one here. Looks like you're asking for, 5.1 million. Last year was 4.7.
Yes.
If we made you cut 10%, where would you do it?
I would probably go into maybe vehicle maintenance, vehicle parts, maintenance operations, knowing that the fleet right now is in good condition.
That was one of my questions.
I would maybe go in that direction, but I would caution you on that because, as you know, these vehicles are our offices. An accident, damage, we're always one incident away.
I was thinking more like cutting 5% from everybody's budget, not 8. That was
10.
Yeah.
You went 10?
I just asked 10.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe 5 would help.
I mean, I would like to go back to the administrator's earlier comments and say I'd like to add another patrolman to my ranks, but I won't. But,
We
so
can't afford it right now.
I'm joking. I know that when I put my proposed budget into the administrator, I thought that it was fair, but it did reflect hiring new people. And I think after working with the administrator and coming up with the proposed budget that him and I presented to you today, with the cuts that we made, I think that it is a very fair, and I think it's going to be tight at where it is to get us across the line with the increases.
Also, this budget here is very reflective of how low we paid everybody throughout the years. And this year during contracts, we decided to bring people up to par with.
Agreed. I think
So
that-
this is what this reflects also.
I think that,
I think most of our budgets are gonna.
Yeah,
reflect
yeah,
pay
that's
increases
what
across the board.
Across the board. But we deliberately did this because we knew we were underpaying and we couldn't get people here.
and I completely agree, and I think you're gonna hear that same thing from everybody who gets up here tonight and talks with you.
And if I may just, I'm sorry, sir.
No, I was, go ahead, I'll make my
So
suggestion.
I know that,
afterwards.
just the council president, of a obviously, simple math, $5.4 million budget, 10% is over $500,000. You know that the chiefs, we're a personnel-driven type of budget. I think the chief keeps the lights on and gas in the car with about $500,000. All the rest of that is contractual costs. So to even consider 5 to 10%, you're talking people. So that'd be something that, and if that's a conversation the council wants to have clearly, knowing that the chief wants more people, then it would be not hiring people or reserving, filling vacancies.
I think as we go deeper into this, and Dave Perry had mentioned to me that last year how we saved some money was paying off some of our capital, our debt service. And that's why I'm glad Denise is here, because we need accurate numbers on what we have for the casino and for the other account that we were wondering about the capital account. But I think that's how we ended up helping out the budget in the last year at least. And then also taking a little bit out of the general fund, which I always call Denise and ask her what that is, and I haven't done it yet, so.
Yeah. Well, at this point, we're just looking at expenditures, and then we'll deal with revenue on the other side.
I just
Councilor
don't want
Burke.
everyone to panic that we're taking 10% right now.
Just one suggestion, because you don't have a lot of wiggle room, and I know I'm the only person who voted against this when we came up with the state police, but you have $23,000 to save with a flock camera contract.
Yes. So,
You want to explain
Was
that?
that just a comment, or were you waiting for me to comment back? So, we've talked about this. We talked about this when the state police came in for the flock cameras. I think that it reflects how hard that we've all worked on this together, including you, when we had to all meet together and talk about this. That's technology. That is what's going to solve crimes in town. I think that by getting rid of this technology after we worked so hard to get it would be wrong for us. It helps solve crime.
So Chief, this says new. I'm talking about the new $23,000.
Yes.
We don't have them up.
No, these are for the additional 4
Right.
cameras that we talked about.
And I understand everything you're saying.
Yeah.
But you have to cut somewhere. I'm suggesting that's a new item that could be cut without affecting things that you can't cut into. That's all.
I would actually posit looking at the,
Can we stay on the flock?
yeah, go ahead.
So this 23,000 is for the new cameras going on 24?
No, sir.
No, these are for the cameras that were put
In
up.
town.
We have 2 currently in town.
Correct.
We have 2 going on that the state police are paying for.
Yes.
This is for me to add 4 more additional cameras.
And how many so in town right now, we have 2.
But did we, I know we had the big discussion about the state police.
Yep.
Did we have the discussion about adding 4 for?
No, we
No,
didn't.
Okay,
if you
all right,
recall, if
that's
you
fine.
recall, sir, when we talked
Then
about
I'm
the
good.
state police, I had
Yes.
brought up that
Those-
I'd be bringing this to you at a
Yes.
later date.
Okay.
So we
Thank
have
you.
2 in town.
Yes.
And then 2 more coming from the state.
Only on the highway. Those are not going
Okay.
to be.
So we have
they're-
2 in town. You want to put 6 in town
I
now.
want to put a total of, so yes, the 2 I have, adding 4 would make a total of 6.
So, Chief, the 2 original that are already existing,
Yes.
that doesn't reflect in this 23 at all?
No.
Is there another line item for the 2 that we already have?
That will absorb all of this.
So
I will be
this-
absorbing, I will, excuse me. hold on
Because
one
it's a
second.
new thing, so
Hold on
how
one
did we
sec-
pay
hold
for
one
it
second.
before?
It's not totally new.
No, I'm sorry. I'm to correct myself. That is for the 4 additional.
Okay, so
Yes.
where are the other 2 in the budget? The
So.
2 that we have already?
Yeah, those have been paid for out of drug forfeiture money and different accounts through time.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
let's do grants.
So, one area where I think if we had to trim anything, I think we could cut the education incentive by 20 grand. Looking at what we've spent this year, what we've historically spent, I know there's hypothesis that maybe some of the younger guys would go and take advantage of it, but, you know, this year alone, we've spent 27.
Yeah,
We have 32.9 left.
yeah.
We've only expended 45% of the original 60,000. I think we could comfortably knock that down by a third.
Yeah, I had that start
If,
too.
sir, I understand you need to make cuts. Obviously, I'll probably going to push back a little bit on every single one of them, as you can expect.
I'd expect you to
But-
do no less, Chief.
Exactly. I will tell you, even with that, I do have officers currently enrolled and more coming. That I do know. Now, whether or not, this is what they're telling me, this is what their intentions are. Whether or not they actually follow through up with that in the next several months, I don't know, but that's where I was at.
These are officers who are taking college courses.
Yes.
This is not like a continuing ed, learn how to.
No,
Pardon me, it is not.
So
It's
That's
this,
that's not that account, Chief.
you're talking about the education incentive account?
The education incentive account is the contractual obligation for an officer.
I'm sorry, reimbursement, they already have their degree,
Correct.
yes.
Correct.
right, but it's contractual if they decide to go.
So it's the law if they decide to go.
Go.
Right, right,
It is
but,
contractual that if a police officer comes in with an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, we give them a stipend.
Compensation, yes.
Correct, that is that account. So what I think we need the chief to do is go back, find out how many officers currently fall into that criteria, that they're getting that benefit before we make a decision. But with the historical, there's a potential of savings there.
Yep.
Yes.
oh, so this isn't continuing ed.
So I apologize, I
Oh.
misunderstood what account,
Yeah.
I misunderstood which one you were
I
talking
should have
about.
known that.
So the one that we're talking about is the state mandated education.
Where is
And
that?
that is under,
That's 5115,
thank you.
because there's also 6928, which I think is what you were getting confused with.
The state mandated is 6928. That is the account the chief uses to reimburse
find that.
officers attending
College,
further education, correct?
5115. 5115 is the education incentive.
There's a 5 in front of it, it is a salary account.
It's right before the
So
cost.
There you go.
generally contractual.
But that's one where we've historically over budgeted.
Yeah, because what we've spent that so far.
And this is somebody comes in with a associates, bachelor's, master's, whatever, we give them a stipend reimbursement, knowing that the department's, what, 2 under full strength? How much is a reimbursement, how much of a reimbursement are we giving per officer? Like, let's say,
It depends on the degree.
let's say you hired me, I get a bachelor's.
$1,750 over 26 weeks for payroll deduction.
Yeah, so that's one we could easily knock that down.
Under the education,
What's that?
So that's
Coming down 20.
6928.
5115.
yeah, I'm looking at 6928.
That's also 60,000. That's one where we spent 51,026 in '24, and this year we have spent
This year we spent.
6,928. No, this year we spent 31.
Yep,
It's under education and seminars. It's titled differently in our.
yeah,
our
because we have
packet.
16,000 left in there.
Yep,
So that is another one we could look at.
potentially. But again, I think it's, it depends on the age of the officers there.
Yeah,
So,
and I can get that number back to the administrator about where we are with degrees and who's.
Okay. Right, other than that, I mean, personally, I'm satisfied with what I see in front of me. I don't know if anybody else has any other questions for the chief. If not,
Let me
maybe we can
just,
pepper the fire chief.
I starred tires, but I don't know why.
You don't think they need tires?
I'm sure they need tires, but there must have been a reason why I did that.
Your fuel costs were before the recent drastic increases in fuel costs.
They were,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so tire vehicle maintenance. I'm looking at, I started this and I know why now. 6648. You have over $20,000 still in there.
So we will start now buying our drums of oil. We will start buying our tires to get ready for the season
Drums
for
of-
everything that
okay.
we've used. So that money will start dwindling
But
down
will
from
it
the
really
current
be
account.
20,000?
Oil prices are up.
Yeah, everything's
Well,
going.
'cause
yeah.
everything's up now.
But even with that, I mean, I have to buy.
Oh, they're gonna go down. No.
You and everybody else hope so, right? But that's where that number will start now. We will start buying our oil, our tires, everything we need to maintain these cars.
Okay.
Chief, why don't you talk about this? I know we've talked offline as well about, and I know you made this presentation to the council, I believe already, the software service contracts and the state of the state when it comes to the.
Yeah.
the
So you're
software.
talking about the CSI and IMC and
Right.
everything else. So it's very frustrating, to be honest with you. We started off several years ago, the state wanted to get on a platform where the whole state would be on it. So CSI was born, but with a cost of, I believe, I paid $24,000 in January to get that going, with another expected payment in July of almost $50,000 coming up in July. And the goal is that it would almost be to say it's what you would see on TV. One police department's talking to another, we're all sharing the same information. But there's a big cost with this. So now other agencies are now starting to say, well, we're not going. And some are saying, well, we're gonna go with something else, we're going with something different. So right now, we're kinda in a holding pattern. We still have IMC licenses, which is what we used to run the police department on, and we're running on CSI. For me to get out of either one of these right now and not know the direction the state is gonna go in would be foolish. So I can't back out of both of these programs right now. I've looked into IMC about cutting back on some of our licenses and possibly saving some money, but I don't want to get out of a program completely, lose all our data, and then have to go back later and have to pay them more money to get this back if we end up changing, or the state changes directions on me. I have spoken about this at the chiefs meeting, so did several other chiefs from around the state, all with the same frustration. Colonel Weaver from the State Police spoke about this. He is confident that they're going to stick with the CSI program, but it is much more expensive than what we would be currently using.
State gonna throw any money at us for it?
No. And the other thing that I'm starting to get a little concerned about that is the Axon body cameras and these body-worn cameras. We're gonna have to start coming up with some money when the state grant runs out. I don't think that's something we need to worry about right now, but that's gonna be coming, and we are already looking to get ahead of that with grants.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, Counselor Burke?
So those two, either of those two items couldn't, the law enforcement block grant couldn't be used for any of that?
For
Are we-
the
for either of
CSI
those two
and
items,
all the
yeah.
I'd have to look into that, sir.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
know off the top of my
And we probably don't get that much anyway, is my guess.
head. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
With the current, like the chief said, with the body cameras, that was part of a 5-year grant.
Yeah.
I believe we're in year 4.
Yes.
So it'll be the following year.
Correct, and we're hoping that was kind of, the AG had some money, I believe the AG used some of their opera money to fund it, and then there was some federal earmarks. So, and it was, given the number of officers that we had, I believe the chief gets like $54,000 a year. We have to put in approximately $3,000 to $4,000 more to pay off that bill for the number of body cameras that we have per officer. But I know the chief will do his good work with the Chiefs Association to make sure that they continue that grant. Because if not, that $55,000 is gonna go into his operating budget to maintain body
Yeah.
cameras.
And from what I was told at the last chief's meeting, that there might not be money coming from the state side to fund this, and they're gonna leave it up to everybody else. So we're all gonna be fighting for these small grants to get these.
Worst case scenario, just take the body cameras off.
I was never a proponent of them, and now that they're here, I don't want to get rid of them. They have served our officers well, and they have always ended up putting them in a positive light when the complaints are made.
Okay.
So just on a note with the software they were talking about, the new program with the state, the IT system and support, 7590, there's no increase in that at all. So I know they're two separate things, but with the dispatch center, was anything added with the new dispatch center as far as?
So those IT systems and support, that's right, that's support for programs that we're already currently running.
Anything, there's
Not
no
related to CSI.
Right, with the new dispatch software, or the new dispatch stuff, is there any software that needs to be added into?
Not that I see right now, no.
IT systems.
Even on the fire side?
So that was the items that we were purchased for the fire side, just to make redundancy for the police and fire department and the dispatch centers. That's going to be purchased out of the dispatch grant money and everything else that we've set aside. This IT systems and support is to support systems that we already currently have running.
And pay for the chief's contracted IT support person. Which at some point, I know the town has an IT budget, the chief has an IT budget, the schools have an IT budget.
Right.
There should be a conversation about a merger
Yes.
townwide, and we definitely save some money.
We've talked about that for a couple of years now.
And the administrator and I have talked about this with a couple of other options that I know he's looking into, so.
Chief, question for you. You mentioned the CSI and then that IMCA software.
IMC, yes, sir.
IMC. If it's go forward with CSI and you drop IMC, how much does that cut out of that budget?
I would probably have to estimate maybe around 20,000 if I had to ballpark, but
Okay.
the other option here is I would not get rid of IMC altogether.
No, I'm not saying kill it now. I'm
Yeah.
just asking.
I could possibly shrink down some of the license usage, but again, if we go to CSI and Portsmouth stays with IMC, we can't communicate. So that's the frustration of the whole thing, and that's what I said at the chiefs meeting. We were all supposed to do this together, and now everybody's trying to fracture and break off and do their own thing. We need to all, I don't care if I go with IMC or CSI, I really don't care, but we gotta figure out what we're doing so we're all on the same page.
Okay. All right, any more questions for the chief? If not, let's harass the other chief.
And I would just say, just.
He can't
so the
wait.
council- So the council knows, the chief's original ask was $5,372,471. As you can see, my recommendation is $5,103,627. So that's between the chief and I. His original ask was a 13.9% total police department increase, and we've reduced it down to approximately 8.28. So there are cuts that have been made.
Okay, thank you, chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say one
Oh,
thing.
Mr. or Counselor Perry.
We're talking about staffing, and I think between your department and the fire department, those two departments have to get staffed real quickly. I don't know if anybody's driven by Fish Road lately, and the planner's here tonight, and so is the building inspector. And I spoke to Tom a little while ago before the meeting started. There's already a foundation going up on Fish Road for one building, and there's 3 holes in the ground for 3 more houses. So that'll be 4 houses you'll see going up probably within a month. By the time we're sitting here next year, whoever's gonna be here next year, there'll probably be about 15 to 20 houses in that development with no problem.
And those foundations are 9 family.
There are 9 families per house. So I think we gotta get these departments up and running real quick.
So, just another note to that, Mr. Perry. I know probably this isn't the right time to add personnel right now with this.
I'm not saying I have.
Nope, nope, just hear me out for a second. From my experience, I think we're already, with the fire department is fully staffed, but the manpower situation is low. It needs to be increased, not because of a new building, because of the call volume we're already handling.
Correct.
Yes, just want to throw that out there.
No, we can't do it this year.
Exactly, but what I'm saying is, right, whether the new building and all this construction takes place or not, we should, in both departments, staffing we should already be looking at increasing staffing.
Right.
So, just to throw that little piece out there.
It's a great segue, Counselor, because I'm sure the chief is going to lead with that.
Yeah.
Well, you can have more staff.
It already got cut.
We asked for more manpower. I understand the needs of the council. We certainly could use the people. I always appreciate the support, and I hope that in the near future, we can talk about growing the
We
department.
have to start looking at it.
I appreciate
And
that.
like I said before, we knew this year was gonna be rough because of what we did with salaries.
Mm-hmm.
And as we go forward, we'll be able
It
to.
would have been worse if you didn't do it and we lost all the
Oh,
people.
absolutely, we did the right thing.
Yeah.
But that's why I want the public to realize that that's why we're struggling right now, but we had to do it. We had no choice.
The council took care of the people that we had.
Yes.
And that's what they did.
Appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, chief. All right,
Hey, Josh.
your turn.
How are you guys? Oh, come on.
He's already been cut.
Yeah, it's already been
Could
cut.
tank your budget, just hand it off to their chief.
All right. Do you want us to just ask questions?
Yeah, why don't we do that? We'll just go through.
So why don't I just give a little introduction, if you don't mind? The chief and I work, as we did with the police chief, and I'll let the chief explain. The chief did come in with an ask for 8 additional firefighters. And I know that the chief can explain it, and I know it's a little different because, and he'll explain the significance of the number 8. Why does it have to be 8? Why isn't it not just 1 or 2? It was, at my level, cut. It was, and the chief put together a very comprehensive budget to support the 8 salaries, the medical benefits, the training, the turnout gear. So that took approximately $1 million from that initial ask off of his budget already. So, but I will let the chief speak to his rationale about that, and the significance of the number 8, so and why he would do that.
Well, I know why it's 8, but.
Chief, take it away.
All right, so you want me to start from the top or explain this, the ask that was cut already?
Do we really
So,
need to know
with-
that?
with-
We
I'll
really
just-
don't really
Yeah, I
need to
mean, if
know that
it's,
right now.
if you guys have already had that discussion,
Yeah,
I think
we
we should keep it, to
Yeah.
what's in front of us here.
All right, so obviously the beginning of the budget is all salary, contractual line items. So we have 5 captains right now. 5 captain salaries is 8 lieutenants. That salary for the lieutenants, there's 4 spots that are considered full year, and then 4 more lieutenant spots that are considered, that are in that figure for half a year, because the contract is making 4 new lieutenants on January 1 of
Yeah.
27. Then first class, second class firefighters, salaries are there. All these salary increases have been from contract negotiations. The
Chief, that'll add 4 lieutenants will be added to, say, South Tiverton?
Yes, on January 1 of '27, I'm already in the promotional process right now. They completed the written test. I'm just waiting to do the oral
So we'll have
interview.
supervision completely
Yes.
or?
Yep,
There'll be
that was the
an
goal.
officer at every station again, so.
And Chief,
yes.
real quick, just to clarify, because, again, there's people watching, there's people at home. This is not creating 4 new positions.
No, it is not.
This was a collective bargaining agreement that, at the time, with the manpower issues, there weren't guys eligible.
Yes,
The union and the town agreed that we'll cut back on the lieutenants, but we are going to need them.
yes. in
So
the
it's
last-
just bringing those positions back. They've never gone away.
Right, so in the last negotiations, obviously, there was no one that was, because of our manpower situation at
Because
the
of the
time
young.
and how many members have left the department, we didn't have anybody eligible to test for
Yes.
lieutenant. So we made a training captain to work with all of our younger new guys to get the department to where they need to be. But then in that negotiations, there was 4 lieutenants coming back on 1/1/27, and they're to be assigned to Station 1, so that there's supervision in all 3 stations again.
To make sure that people at home knew that we're not just
Yeah.
creating new positions.
Yep.
Chief, I think I'm gonna jump right to the number that I think everybody's probably looking at. Overtime.
Yeah.
You're at 500. We are running 75%
Hey,
for this year.
You have 103,000 left.
Yeah, so I know Denise gave you the budget on the end of March, correct? The budget I have in front of me is our numbers up till April 16th. Right now, we currently have $62,068.97. So we've spent 84% of our budget, and we have 16% left for the rest of
And
the
you
year.
have May,
Yeah, so
June, and half of June.
The overtime
Just May and
number,
June.
the overtime number that we presented is, I think, a realistic number based on what we think we're gonna spend. I know in the past, our numbers have been astronomical, but that's because we've been short so much staffing. So when you're looking at the $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 overtime budgets, that's because we were down, 2 years ago, we were down 13 members. So we had crazy amounts of overtime.
Yeah, but I think that now that you're fully staffed, going up 100,000, I'm not for, to
So,
tell you
but-
the truth.
But remember that all the salary increases that came along with the contract play into that overtime number as well.
Well, it
So all
does,
the
it
overtime
does.
goes up because
But
of
do
all
you-
the salary
But do you
increases.
anticipate, like with the police, they have FMLAs coming up, do you anticipate?
Is
So
anyone having babies?
So I have, right now, I'm fully staffed. I have 34 union firefighter positions, 32 on the line, 2 admin, one's in fire prevention, one's a training captain. And I have, at this time, I have 2 members out. One is out on IOD and one's out on long-term sick. As far as FMLAs and children, I can't
You don't know.
give you that complete answer, but I do have a very young fire department. I believe.
So the potential is there, right?
I am, yeah. Right now, we do have 20 members on the department that have less than 4 years on the Tiverton
Yeah.
Fire Department. So,
I still,
it is a very young fire department, and those numbers right there, the lack of experience plays into other line items in my budget when you look at it.
Chief,
in the
on
pa-
the overtime,
Yes.
you know, with the increase of 500,000,
in the past, we've been able to.
I mean,
we can
the
find
increase of the
100,000.
25% salary.
Yep.
Does any of that take into consideration, I assume that now that we have a training captain, that, you know, guys come back off duty and train, do they get paid to come back when there's a major training going on? or-
Yes. So last year, we rented the Union Fire District, and we did a live burn for the entire department. So every member got paid to be there. We did a 2-day burn.
Is that overtime?
It was overtime. The contract allows the 2 mandatory, it allows for 2 mandatory or 2 mandatory trainings a year that the chief can decide on. But we also have the professional development account. So in that contract negotiations, it was agreed upon that we would pay firefighters overtime for trainings. So professional
So
development.
for 2 days down at the Union
Yep.
Fire District for training,
Yep.
can be very costly to
Yes.
have I assume it being a young department,
Yep.
you probably had great,
Yeah, I had about 3/4 of the department there.
Right,
But
so
with the
that-
decision that was made was, we split 2 shifts into one day, 2 shifts into the next day. We gave everyone, it was 8 hours of overtime, and we gave everyone the option to come both days, but if they wanted to come both days, they were only getting paid for one.
And it's
So
usually-
everyone got the
Right,
right
but it
one
usually
day.
ends up like a 12.
Yeah, it was a much
14 hour
longer,
day.
it was, yeah, it's because
But didn't that come out of professional development,
So-
not overtime account?
So that does come out of professional development.
Yeah,
But if you,
that's not reflective in the overtime account.
but if,
That's in the professional development.
so we are out of professional development money this year now.
Well,
at what-
and you've already had your 2 trainings.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm looking at 2 different things, 'cause I'm looking at professional development, and I'm looking at 99%.
5125 in the fire department, professional
That's
development.
where the overtime comes
Yeah,
for.
we blew through 43,000.
Yeah. Right, so I mean,
But that's actual, that money goes towards overtime versus toward equipment and supplies.
Yeah,
Right.
so professional development is overtime for the members to come and do
yeah.
the training.
And we
off
did
duty.
that purposely,
Yes,
so that it
because-
wouldn't reflect in your overtime
Yep.
account. I remember
But
that.
that was funded at 30,000 this past year. And
Right, but we weren't
To
in-
not stop our young department from training, we did use some overtime money to help offset that cost so that they could continue to do trainings.
So here's my suggestion, because again, I know we are in, we did the bump up for the fire department and then we did the renegotiated contract. So the salaries we're seeing today, it's really just what is the increase for next year. And I don't necessarily know that that translates to a 25% increase in overtime. I would think
Keep
we
it at
could,
400.
we could cut, I would say cut 50 at least on the overtime line item.
I'd say keep it at 400, and then
Split
if
the
you
difference.
go over, we went so far over last time.
Right,
And
so-
we got you the money, the money.
And I understand that, but I do want to say I want to reiterate what the town administrator said about being fully staffed now. We were never fully staffed, I don't think, for the longest of times. We were never
Right, so
fully
the
staffed.
vacancies
We could
were
take
covered
salary
with
accounts.
overtime. Right,
We could take salary accounts.
but you also took it from overtime.
But we took salaries that weren't being funded because we were short members and used those salaries, the excess there, to move toward overtime. So,
What's left in the fire chief's account?
right now, the chief's salary has $60,890.15. So
And we
the
only
way,
have 2 months.
yeah, I'm continuing to be paid the deputy chief's salary, but the differential is coming out of the chief's salary account to go to that differential. So that salary will come down a little bit more, but not by a lot.
There's a lot left.
Deputy fire chief. Right. So the deputy's getting the chief's pay.
Right.
Out of his pay, it's just the stipend of the difference.
Right, but so there'll be,
There's 61,000 left in
there'll
it,
be some money
61.
that,
Yes,
I will need,
yes. That's my point.
yes, sir.
yes.
The other thing I will say, just to get back to what the chief was saying about, I know we were talking about like group members, and obviously, a fully staffed shift of firefighters, chief, is how many firefighters?
Right, so each shift has 8 firefighters on it, and then there's a minimum manning per the contract of 7.
So, I
So
know,
so with the additional firefighters, I was looking to add 2 more per shift, which would allow me to put another piece of apparatus in service, whether it be another piece of fire apparatus or the 3rd ambulance that I've heard multiple conversations about. So, unlike the police department, we can't just put on 1 person per shift. We have to staff, like if you were to staff the 3rd ambulance, you have to put 2 members in that ambulance. And as Council Committo said, the staffing we have right now, it is impossible for me to move bodies around to make another operational change like putting a 3rd ambulance in service.
so part of the ask of that overtime with that number, which is a significant number, and I knew we would have a conversation about that. Opposed to hiring 8 firefighters, what I would like to do, whether it's this budget cycle or the next budget cycle, and kind of bouncing off some of the concerns of the council members with the development that's going on in town, clearly the need for a 3rd rescue is coming in our future. What I would want to do over a period of 90 days is staff a 3rd rescue with the existing personnel that we have through overtime. And just see if we're going to do it that way. That we would do it for 90 days, 45 days, or I would give the chief 45 days and I would pick 45 days.
I don't know if this is
That
the
we
year
would
to
do a
do
test
that.
pilot of how many people and how many calls for service that we would go. instead of investing and hiring 8 firefighters right out of the gate. And I'd like to have some data points to justify the need to hire 8 firefighters before we see this development come in.
I don't know if this is the year to do that,
And I'm
though.
not saying it is now.
How would you get that pattern if the development isn't in?
Yeah.
So with, so,
Chicken or egg?
yeah, I agree, sir. So, but also with the calls for service that we have now, I'll let the chief speak to that.
Yes. So we are busy. Last year, we did over 4,000 calls. It was the first time in ever that we've done that many calls. There are, I'd say 75% of the time, there's back-to-back calls with probably 25 to 35% of the time, the third call comes in, and that creates engine 3 to go to, which is relying on a mutual aid ambulance to come into town. And, you know, it is lost revenue based on, because now that, we cannot bill for that call, so.
How many calls did you have the year before?
We were at 37 or 3,800 in
Significant.
2025, 2024.
Significant increase.
Yeah, it was, I have all those numbers, just not in front of me right this
No,
moment.
just, ballpark.
I love the topic, and I appreciate the third rescue. Just my opinion, looking, I'd rather see the fire apparatus manned 24/7. We have a North Tiverton up here that stays empty quite a bit when the rescue goes out, and our fire suppression's coming from the other side of town. So that, it's just something else to think about. That's why, you know, we talk about all this new development. Fire department just got back to where they needed to be over the last several years of defunct. And the increase is needed now, not for the future build out, right? So there's a lot to the whole thing. And trust me, I understand a lot, and now sitting on this side, I understand the budgetary, you know, finding the money to do all this stuff, but it's definitely, we can't definitely kick the can down the road on police and fire with this stuff, because it is coming, and we always say not this year, and we're already saying not this year, and I get it, I understand. But if we're gonna look into a plan, we better look into it for next year, one way or the other. The other thing I see that Portsmouth is now doing, I don't, and maybe you can enlighten us on this, I believe they put a car.
Yes.
They just put a.
Med 1.
Okay, so they put a Med 1, a vehicle, which is like I don't want to call it a chase vehicle, but.
It's a Ford Explorer. It's an ALS staffed vehicle with preferably a paramedic, but an EMT cardiac if they need to. And it, all intents and purposes, it chases the ambulance. So instead of sending the $1 million fire truck across town, you're sending a 30 or 40 or $50,000 SUV.
Right, so cost savings is to get that extra hand out on that medical call. We're not taking because the way we're staffed right now, we're not taking our brand new fire truck, putting 200,000 miles on it, ripping across town, wear and tear. They have a vehicle that can go and be the third set of hands, and if need transport, non-transport, or if the call warrants more help, then the fire truck could come.
Yes.
So you would have a lot of cost savings if something like that was implemented also, and maybe I would like to see a study on that type of thing, to put a car in place, and I believe we have the vehicles to do it, to see what, I'll go as far as saying fuel cost, right?
Sure.
Tires, wear and tear, maintenance, but they're there, obviously we need them, so just something to think
And I
about.
talk about the community health program.
Yes, yes.
And I know the chief can speak to that as well. And again, knowing that this is not gonna be I bring up the topic because it kind of evolves around overtime. And then when we're talking about personnel costs, knowing that we just can't flip a switch and hire 8 firefighters.
Correct.
And then we wanna be able to do vetting, and I agree with you, Counselor. I mean, I've been told a soft number that the Fish Road build-out will be about 2030. So we're at we're talking about the 26-27 budget as we speak. So it's going to come fast. And what I would like to do is just have some hard, fast numbers about what our public safety does, and maybe some unique ideas, or even compliment somebody else who's doing something that's a little innovative, and maybe we can integrate that into our police officers, our firefighters, to see if not only save money, but do something that is thinking outside of the box.
So to your point, Counselor, we have thought about the community paramedicine program with having one person in an SUV to respond to calls as well as following up on repeat customers and things like that. But there's a grant coming out through Rhode Island DOH that we are one of multiple communities that are eligible for it. So we've been kind of waiting on that to find out before we commit to funding something that we're gonna get money for. We wanted to try to wait a little bit so that in the backup in regards to the new firefighters, I spelled it out in two different ways. I had spelled it out if we did staffing the fire apparatus or if we staffed the third ambulance. So obviously we know the night the Blaisdell fire happened, we got lucky. All of our trucks were in quarters. Granted, that was a bad fire for multiple reasons, but if Rescue 2 was out, that fire could have been way worse. It could have been multiple homes because the closest fire truck would have been coming from Crandall Road versus.
Right.
North.
I appreciate the grant and all the grants, right? So, our town administrator was great with grants, but again, I think we depend on grants way too much to fund our municipalities. So, we just gotta come up with a plan for the future and keep.
And we do have, like you had said, we do have the means to be able to do that chase vehicle if that's something we want to try as a pilot sooner than later.
Councilor DeMedeiros, then Councilor Janick.
Could you explain professional development and why it went up 20,000?
So professional development is the account that we use to pay the firefighters overtime to go to training off duty. That was agreed on in the contract, so it was a collective bargaining agreement. Currently, we have spent, I know, Council President
It's
said
almost 100%.
he said about 43,000 in that. We've spent that at about 43,000. We're actually at 46,000. Like I said before, I use some of the overtime money to not stop the department from going to training. I use some overtime money to offset that so they can continue to go to training for the department. Like I said, we have 20 members on the department that are under 4 years. I literally looked at it and
I
have
was just-
26 members that are under 10 years in the department. So, out of a 34-man department.
And how about the contractual comp, the new one? That's contractual. You wanna-
So, the contractual comp vacation sick buyout,
Yeah.
that is a number that we did a best estimate on. So the Local 1703, the firefighters union, has always been able to buy out comp time. And now with the new contract, they can buy out their vacation. So
Yes.
comp time, they're allowed to get paid out for up to 72 hours of straight time. And then any unused vacation time, they can get bought out for. So instead of the use it or lose it, at the end of the year, they
Yeah.
just get paid out for it. The sick buyback part of that is
Which
in.
could save money in overtime.
Yes,
Yes.
so that was part of that in
That was why we did
negotiations
it.
because of,
Listen, that would save money.
Well, that's why I'm bringing it up.
because historically it was always everybody would jam in vacation times in June because they were gonna lose their time
Yeah.
if they didn't.
Oh, yeah, and everyone was taking June and July, and there was a huge amount of overtime.
And then in the AFSCME contract, the new AFSCME contract, they have allowed their members to buy back sick time. I have one AFSCME employee and she's allowed to buy back up to 18 sick days. So this is that's another contractual item that never had a line item that we always had to
Yep.
find money from, and because we were short-staffed, we had the salary accounts to take it from, but now we are not short-staffed, and I do not have salary accounts to take it from, so that was our best estimate and what has been done historically.
Councilor Janick.
I'm gonna jump down to account 73.
Councilor Perry.
He can't hear this side of the table.
Yes.
Looks like you still have 22,131 left for this year,
Yep.
and you're asking for another 40,000 for next year.
Where are you, Dave?
So right now that account, we have that account at $14,745. We have 37% left of that contract, or that line item. So that, I know that in the past, the turnout gear thing has been a question because we did purchase all brand-new PFAS gear 2 years ago. This has been to repair gear, but also to expand on some of the personal protective equipment for other activities and responsibilities of the fire department. So brush fires, forestry gear, active shooter stuff, so vests, helmets, med kits, things like that, rescue swimmer equipment. So that's where that account doesn't just pay for firefighting gear, it pays for personal protective gear that's more than just our structural firefighting gear.
I still have tons of questions.
So that account is, there's probably gonna be a little bit left in that account. It might not completely be spent out this year, but it's gonna be close
So,
to be. I mean,
You increased.
so we level funded that account. That's not an increase in that account. There's no increase in that account
I thought they were-
from last year.
I have a
That account was stayed at $40,000.
I have a side question here for you. Actually, it's probably for the treasurer. So as of 3/31, it looks like we've expended 94% of the telephone budget.
Yes.
Are we sure that that number should be level funded?
So, yes. So with the telephone budget, yes, Councilor Committo knows all about this, but there were phone lines that helped run the radio system
Yep.
that went from the police department down to Station 1 on East Road. Those lines were costing us about $2,000 a month. About 2 or 3 months ago, we got a bill for $4,000 a month. And we were curious on what it was. We called and they said, oh, price increase. So with the dispatch project, we worked with Cybercom, the police chief, and everyone to come up with a way to make that radio system work down there without the phone lines. So now we have, I forgot the exact name for them. They're internet. It's basically on internet, but it's two.
Yeah, VoIP.
I forgot the name of it off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
it's two. Internet. It runs off the internet. So there's a
Yep.
modem at the tower at DPW for the radio, and then there's a modem down. No, I don't remember the name. I forgot it.
VoIP. It's voice over internet protocol.
Yeah, I forgot the name. I'm sure
It's all good.
Captain Wells is going to text me, but
I get it.
it's it runs off the internet now.
So is that line item, can that line item go down then?
I don't know. I don't think so because the phone, obviously we still have the phone lines. We were going to blow that up account pretty good if we didn't cancel those lines.
Okay.
But we did cancel them. So they are canceled. We might overspend it a little bit because there might be a little,
Yeah, I'm not worried about this year's because there's obviously extra areas where we can offset.
I'm-
I just,
honestly, I think that,
when I see something as standard as, telephone, all of a sudden being 95% expended with a quarter of the year left, that
right, the reason
raises
that
a
was
flag.
is because those phone lines that ran the radio system.
Okay.
But now the radio system runs off the internet, so.
With the dispatch center being upgraded and the redundancy that we have now, that should be helpful to the fire department.
Counselor Janick.
Okay, so you did already describe what professional development is.
Yes.
What is the educational allowance and the chief deputy continuing ed development?
Which line item are
Way
you?
down at the bottom under operating expenses, the last
All
two
right, so-
line items,
6922.
6922 and
and
6923.
All right, so the educational allowance is money that's set aside to pay firefighters to go to paramedic school if they choose. In the contract, it says that the town of Tiverton will reimburse our firefighters to go to paramedic school. I can't predict it. It kind of happens when it happens. They come, they ask for permission, we sign documentation, and then we have to earmark that money to them. We keep it set aside, and then once they provide us with a paramedic license, they get reimbursed for the cost of the class.
How many paramedics do we have right now?
Right now, we have 8 paramedics, and I have 27 cardiacs. The
Cardiacs,
department
so the
has
cardiacs
no more
could
EMT bases.
very easily go to
They
paramedic.
could.
Yeah.
And right now, we currently have 1 employee that is in paramedic school right now.
Chief, is that even enough to cover?
No.
The 9750 is not even enough to
No,
cover, right?
that's gonna cover 1 class, but if I had a couple of guys who came, I
Isn't
would
it
have
like
to
maybe
make
14, 15,000 for a?
potentially, yes, because we're
Yeah.
like 7,000 or 8,000 now for paramedic school.
So does that run like college courses, like semesters, so?
No,
No.
it runs, paramedic school is probably about 8 months long. Then they have to go through a large amount of hospital time and ride time. The whole process to become a paramedic is about 1.5 years, from start to finish.
Do you still have to pass to get that reimbursement money?
Yes, yep. We do not front them the money because Unfortunately,
It's
the
tough.
failure rate of paramedic school is rather
Well,
high.
it's very tough,
'cause it
and I
is
used to
tough.
do them in the ER. They're very-
So they pay for it up front and we reimburse them?
Yep, so they pay for that class up front, paramedic school. I mean, obviously, fire training stuff, we'll pay for the fire classes up front, but they pay for paramedic school up front with us signing. We have a document that they sign that says we'll reimburse them when they get it. And then we earmark it, and typically it has to be carried over. The money gets earmarked through budgets. So
Okay,
Can I ask a follow-up real quick?
yes,
So right now you have nobody in paramedic school?
I have one.
he has one.
You have one?
Yes.
So you can, so this basically will help with that person?
No.
No,
That money is earmarked from the current budget that we're in right now.
okay.
So,
So this is a new one.
So,
yeah, so this is next year, so if someone comes to
but
me.
if somebody comes to you, they're still, the whole process is 8 months, including the hospital time?
No, the whole process to become a paramedic is roughly a year and a half.
Year and a half.
So next year, right now, you're not gonna have anything because there's nobody
That's right.
in there.
No, so what happens is when someone comes to me, we sign, we agree to
Right.
it, and then that money gets taken out of this budget. So right now, the member that's in school right now, it's coming out of the 25-26 budget, even if he doesn't get it until 27.
But if it's what's the
No,
total
no, but
time
you
again?
can't
18
spend
months
it in
out?
27.
What, 18 months out?
So,
Paramedic school, the total time is 18 months roughly, you said?
yes,
Right, so
So
when,
why couldn't we wait, even if you got somebody in July,
yep.
you have 18 months from July, so we could put it in next year instead of the coming year.
So what happens, and Denise, please correct me if I'm wrong, but what happens is we encumber the money
no.
for, yes, we
It's
do.
like a restricted fund?
We do,
No.
we encumber the money for
But it's not a
paramedics.
restricted fund, so if it's not spent, it goes into the general fund.
No, it's paramedics.
Is it encumbered, though?
Do we general, I don't think we generally encumber that.
No.
We do.
Only if the bill is gonna be due in June.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it was explained to me differently then. But
Yeah, because you
I'm being-
I
can't,
just
found some
suggest-
savings. Let's
that-
go.
That might be a place to
That's-
have further conversation.
yeah,
and
because
see.
you can't do
I, while I don't agree on that. I think that we encumber it now. I know,
She
'cause-
would know.
I know, but I just had this conversation the other day. I have someone that I owe $5,500 to when he completes paramedic school, and we have that money set aside.
If this was at the time, I think, yes,
She's thinking.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
I agree, if you have somebody now that's already in school and they're moving ahead,
that's
you
okay.
have to have that money available.
Right.
But for a new person, in the new, even if they say in June,
It's a year
you
and a
still
half.
have a year and a half. So we can encumber that money in your budget in the, this is the 27, in the 28 budget as opposed to the 27 budget. Because we're not gonna pay it out before then.
Right, so, but what I am 99.9% sure that we have always encumbered the money from the year we signed to agree to let them go to school, so that the money is there.
I don't know if you can do that.
And when,
Well, to the chief's point, so if he sends somebody to school and we don't have a line item, or that line item's not there, is it written in the contract about?
It's written in the contract that once they
Okay.
pass, they get reimbursed.
Okay, so in the past, what has happened, there's been several arguments over this. Somebody has completed their school and there's been no money to pay them.
Right, and
so
it's,
then we have to
they-
transfer funds?
Then we have to transfer funds.
It's happened several times,
But then
so.
we have to transfer
But
funds?
I would argue it becomes a contractual obligation for when we have to pay it out. So we, like salaries, we don't have a choice. We have to put it in that year and look for savings elsewhere if we need it.
so hypothetically though, if you were to zero fund that right now in this meeting and say, we're gonna put no money into it, and someone comes to me in July or in August of this next year and says, I wanna go to paramedic school, where does that money come from?
We'll have to worry a year and a half from now.
I
Right,
think what the
but
chief's
wouldn't-
trying to
but
say
wouldn't
is,
you-
the money's allocated when they sign the dotted line for that person to go to paramedic school.
Yes.
So even though it's not, even though it's not physically spent, it's allocated,
It
and
doesn't
then
make
once they
sense,
complete,
That doesn't make sense.
That
When
doesn't
did-
make sense.
Is there a
Just so I'm clear, this is an 18-month program, correct?
Yes,
So it's like a
Rough.
fiscal cycle and a half.
Right,
yes.
right.
So I can understand the council's concern with it from a budgetary perspective, that, and I understand what you're saying, Chief. If firefighter Jones comes to you today It says, Chief, I'm going to paramedic school. You want to be able to say that you have that money. What we're saying is you
You
don't
will.
need to worry about having that money until firefighter Jones or then paramedic Jones graduates in 18 months. And I can understand what you're saying, that you just want to be able to have the money.
And then when,
But once it's a contractual paramedic obligation, the town would have to find that money.
Right.
Once that is signed.
So
then
if
when
I,
do
so,
those-
so if that budget was, if that was zero funded, then I would have to come back when that person completes class.
You look ahead.
you look ahead. So in 2028 or whatever, you would put it there and say to us, I have someone almost completing. It might not be spent if they don't pass it, but by then you would know,
Yeah,
probably.
you'd anticipate that Jones is gonna graduate in December of 28. So therefore, in the 28 budget, you're looking to put all that money in the 28 budget.
Yeah.
Do they all start at the same time? Is it like they start in September? They can
No.
start whenever they want?
Yeah.
Depending on the school.
Well, it depends on the school.
Depending on what school it is, some schools run it in the spring, some will run in the fall. It happens all years, all times of the year.
All right.
And then to finish, I don't even know whose question it was.
It was about the chief
The
deputy.
chief professional
continu-
development, or the chief's con ed development, the chief's contract and the deputy contract both allow for $3,000 a year of con ed for both of the positions, so that's why that's at 6,000.
I haven't.
Yep.
Apparatus maintenance.
Yes.
We're moving forward.
Yep.
You increased it by 10,000. We have new equipment now.
Yep.
So is apparatus maintenance, if something breaks down?
Yes.
You go from here.
So-
So we have several new equipment now. So do we really have to increase that by 10,000?
So currently, we are at $95,964. We've already
But
overspent
that's
that.
because of the older equipment.
Right, but
we
some of
have.
that older equipment is still in service. So
Some, but-
the old engine 3 is now engine 1. When that truck was moved to engine 1, it needed brakes, fuel tank stuff, and suspension. I got a surprise $12,000 bill for that stuff. So it was unexpected, and that's why we ended up with this overage.
Yeah, but how many new ones do we have?
So I have one new ambulance, which is out of service right now with a mechanical issue. I have a
Is it
brand new
under
engine.
warranty? Is it under warranty?
It is.
Okay.
So it's under warranty, but with that being said, it might take a little longer to get it back
Right,
because
so
it's
you-
under
so
warranty.
you're gonna,
But then you bring the reserve item up.
Yes.
yes.
And then that's the one we have to make sure
Yep.
that's working.
So the reserve truck right now, so our new ambulance that we bought for Station 2, Rescue 2, that's out of service. It's been out of service for 2 weeks with warranty issues through Ford. That put the 2018 back in service that has 150,000 miles. So that truck, while it's running fine, could have mechanical issues that I'm gonna need to have repaired.
Well, I'm just wondering.
And now, no, I understand. And we use DPW as much as we can, and at DPW, they charge us for the parts. Obviously, the labor we don't pay. There are some things that are outside of the mechanic at DPW's realm, things that have to do with the pump or certain electronics on specific fire trucks or ambulances, and those require an EVT certified mechanic, which we go over to Bulldog in Westport, and at that point, we do have to pay labor costs and parts, and
So-
it's not
But what
cheap.
I'm asking is, can we keep it at 85?
So I understand, I knew this was gonna be a question because of the new apparatus. I understand the thought process, but they're big, heavy equipment trucks that are not, I won't say treated perfectly, but they're big diesel engines that go from being cold to starting up, to going on calls, to coming back and being turned off. Like, they're not, they live a tough life.
So I think, and to the chief's point, right now, and part of the DPW presentation, as you know, we have one full-time mechanic and then a helper. What I would, and I'm going to propose to you in the DPW budget, that we take that part-time helper, make that a full-time helper.
I noticed that.
And then possibly work with the chief and get some certifications so they can work on these rescue vehicles and these emergency vehicles going forward. It would be a savings, and also, as the chief knows too, that when he has a rescue out of service, it takes priority. But if it's outside the scope of the mechanic, he has no choice but to go to Bulldog in Westport to get it done, and that will more than likely, depending on the issue, could double or triple the price.
Yes. So DPW has been excellent. Our trucks take precedent over everything. But there were times throughout the winter, we had an ambulance there, and obviously the blizzard came. We had an ambulance that was almost there for a month. Sometimes we can't afford to leave our trucks there for that long, so sometimes we have to go to Bulldog because we can get our trucks repaired in 2 or 3 days, where at DPW, if a snowstorm's coming, obviously he needs to get the plow trucks ready. If something happens, that takes precedent, you know what I mean? So,
Now, what about the fire engines? Do they go to Westport too?
So
They
depending
were
on-
going to Warwick.
no, so depending on what the issue is with the trucks, they will go to DPW for certain things, and then they also go to Westport, to Bulldog for
The fire-
repairs.
the
Yes.
fire apparatus
Yep,
too?
our fire apparatus, we basically use
think we should keep
Westport.
that at
The
85.
Bulldog fire apparatus in Westport is kind of exclusively our repair.
Even with all that stuff being said, I mean, the cost of,
Yes.
I mean, I made a joke before about the oil, right? The cost of oil is going through the roof. These things aren't taking 4 or 5 quarts of oil. They're up to 20 quarts of oil. Getting newer apparatus, which is a great thing, but at the same time, it comes with newer technology. So the typical, I don't think, maybe I'm speaking out of term, I'm not sure if our mechanic at the highway department has the proper computers to get into the system and read the system, right? So all that stuff is very expensive.
Councilman, we don't have a lift to lift the truck in the end.
I didn't want to go to that road.
When the
But
mechanic,
what-
when the mechanic changes the oil on the ladder truck, he has to do it on a nice day, so he can be on the ground outside versus putting it up on a lift. So, with
So
what
there's
the
a lot
council
to
is
it.
saying though, some of these fire trucks, the computer systems they have to be done through the manufacturer. And, there is a significant labor cost when it comes to going to those mechanics.
Station building maintenance,
Yes.
7840. You must have some stuff in mind for that.
Yep.
Can that go into capital? Can that be spent from the casino money?
So
Because I
certain-
want to try to take some of this building maintenance station stuff all the way around and try to make it a one-time thing that could come out of a casino.
Right, so I understand what you're saying on that, and there are projects that we have that we can make capital projects.
So is it involved in this
It is not.
40,000?
So this is what pays cleaning supplies, toilet paper, it pays for everything in the fire stations. If today the septic backs up and it needs to be pumped, then that's paying out of that. If there's a plumbing issue, we need to hire a plumber. Electrical issue, we have to hire an electrician. That's where our maintenance costs come from for our buildings.
Now, you've increased it.
Yep.
You do have you have 3,600 left for the next 2 months. You don't?
No, we are $1,645 in the red right now on that account. Based on, and I know that you have the numbers from the treasurer, and I
Okay.
appreciate her numbers, and she does great work, but we also keep our own. So theirs get done when they pay, when we submit the bills. Ours are done right away when we sign the bills to send them down there. So,
Your real-time accounting.
I have a little
Yeah.
bit more.
We're a month
Yep.
behind, and we
Yeah.
won't get the updated numbers.
But right
until
now,
next month.
apparatus maintenance and station building maintenance, we are in the red on both of them, so.
Okay.
And I'm
Thank
gonna be
you.
coming in the future to ask for transfers to get those accounts back into where they need to be.
All right.
Are there
Yes.
any major projects for the stations that?
I just wanted to make sure this was.
So there's obviously the roof at Station 2, that has been a long topic of discussion. The generators have been a long topic of discussion. I have updated generator reports that they were just serviced the other day.
Those aren't gonna be, I mean.
Those are gonna be capital.
Those would be
Yeah.
capital
Those will be
requests, not
capital
in the budget.
expenses
Yeah.
at some point. Those will be those are the
Yeah.
station maintenance things. But these are,
I just wanted to make sure, because I want everyone to
yeah,
think
this has
that way.
nothing, the station maintenance account has nothing to do with like a capital
Okay.
expenditure, like doing the roof or doing the generators or anything.
just wanted to
It is
make
the
sure.
normal.
Okay.
I'm waiting for that.
All right, any further questions for the fire chief? If not, I'd say we move on to the next item. Thank you, chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What are we doing next?
DPW, yeah.
Director, and it looks like the director and his executive assistant.
Yes, I would like her to join. This is my first go-around, and she has more history than I do.
Yeah, we gotta talk about,
All right, any questions from the council for Public Works? It looks like we're,
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
If I may, Mr. President, members of council, just because I'm just for everybody at home, the fire department's initial ask was
The
a
DPW.
24.30% increase over what they've currently been allocated, and that has been reduced down in front of you tonight to a 10.77%. So just, I want to tell, cuts.
for DPW?
No, for the fire department.
Oh, okay.
For the fire department, just so we can, we're cutting along the way.
I have a general question that Denise can answer too. Your sand and salt, did we make that a restricted account at some point? We did. All right, that was, okay, so my memory's good. So, you asked for 100, is there anything in that restricted account?
No.
Nothing, zero, it's zeroed out.
We're
in the hole.
All right, because it, okay. But we had a terrible winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to come to ask for money before we even made it to the blizzard.
I just wanted to make sure I was right about the restricted account. And the same thing as paving too. That's a restricted
Payment,
account.
yes.
Okay. But you're asking, now I understand it was a really bad winter and you've spent a lot of money. You're asking for a $25,000 more for sand and salt.
Correct, that was severely underfunded, I think, from mild winters in the past.
Well, well, see, right, but that's why we made it a restricted account, because when Rick would come to us for more money, we'd say, well, you have all this money left over, and that would just go into the general fund, which people have already paid taxes for.
I'm not sure when that started and
It
let that
started a
money
few
roll.
years ago.
Right, but it, again,
Yeah.
we were through it by January.
And then we also made him buy sand early.
Didn't we also take the, not the table games, the virtual games money? We got a little bit from virtual gaming.
Oh, yeah, what did
Didn't
we
we
do
put
with that
that-
100,000?
Didn't we say that that would go straight to something for DPW?
The gaming money, Denise.
It's not, but it's not the regular gaming money. You have the slot machine
Oh,
money,
that's right.
That's
you have the
the
table games, then you have the sports betting money.
sports betting, yeah.
Yeah.
Not virtual.
We
the-
did-
yeah.
Well,
The slot machines, yeah, slot machines are part of the casino money.
right.
He
So
doesn't
the
gamble.
Sports betting money. So I thought we had restricted.
We did.
We funneled that to, I thought DPW for
Paving.
some.
Paving.
Paving,
Okay.
But we filled sand and salt like off-season because we got a good rate and we had money left over. And then we barely used it because we had no snow.
The unfortunate part there, Councilor Janick, is that the
Something happened.
DPW director's predecessor purchased a bunch of salt and it ended up getting wet and became a giant rock.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a problem.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Sorry,
Yeah,
forget that.
so,
So, okay, so you have nothing left anywhere. No money's left for this at all.
In either of those accounts,
Okay.
no. So
What goes
we'll
into, what monies go into that, Denise? Into the sand account? So at the end of the year,
So you started restricting it 2 years ago. The first year you restricted it was like $7.
okay,
The second year last year was $48,000. So when you look at the March report in the budget transfer column, you see the $48,000, plus you guys gave them 100 from municipal capital
Yeah.
this year. So the only thing that goes in there is whatever's left over.
whatever is left over there, okay,
So right now, we're overdrawn.
okay,
So once you make that whole, there'll probably be nothing going back
right.
to start next year.
That's what my question is, thank you.
if we get another winter like we just had,
We're screwed.
We'll be asking for more money.
yes.
And then the paving account, that's obvious, it's restricted and you have 400, okay.
No, that's what we spent, 404,000. That was,
Okay,
spent
so it's
in-
a- so-
we just allocated 0 last year and 0 this year, but you gotta look at,
So what I'm asking is what's in that account right now?
let's see.
It'll probably be around $50,000 when we pay the bills from the 4 roads we just paved.
We haven't gotten billed yet.
So we had up until recently 940,000 roughly, and now we're I mean, you just did a bunch of roads, so.
Correct.
Now, the line painting, you increased it, but you haven't spent any of it.
We were scheduled for it now.
Right, we were waiting until the paving was done because South Lake
Okay.
Road is one that gets striped.
All right, but will you need
believe-
to increase, you really think you need to increase it? You went from 4,300 to 7,500.
Yes, so most of the roads, we're just doing the center line. Some of the roads have white lines as well. So we don't have enough money to do both the double yellow line and the white lines on the roads that exist with pavement markings now. And if we ever wanted to add any roads, like South Lake only gets a single line, I believe, to match Long Highway and Little Compton, but
Yeah.
it should probably be double yellow with white lines as well.
Now, the guardrail account, you haven't spent anything yet either.
No, I don't think there's typically much money we don't have much guardrail in town.
So can we decrease that? Because we gave you $9,000 and it's just sitting there.
I believe we did.
No. What
3,000.
am I looking at?
You're looking at stormwater management.
All right, so can we, do you really need 3,000?
I believe we took it out, or we level funded it.
You decreased it,
Right, we
but,
did.
but you're not replacing many guardrails.
Not until somebody
Hits one.
hits one.
Right, and how much does it cost to replace?
It depends on how much damage, if it was an end unit. An
Yeah.
end unit itself can be $5 or $6 grand.
Okay. These are just questions,
No,
I'm not.
absolutely.
That I was, when I was looking at it.
Well,
Director,
I
why don't you
think
talk about the aggregate soils, the new account?
Just before you
I'm
start
sorry.
that, if we can just say about the paving, I think everyone knows because of all the storm and water and snow and ice, the roads are a mess, and I don't think there's a road you can drive down in town that doesn't have lots and lots of potholes, so I think that we need to really look at paving and make sure that we have enough money in that fund this year.
Yeah, so that comes from a casino ordinance, and it's only 200,000, and I gave you some backup on pricing of the roads that we're having paved this year, and if we only get 200,000, you're looking at maybe a road a year or less.
Yeah, and I think we have a lot more need this year,
Correct.
looking forward.
And that's before Councilor Committo gets his
Thank you. My
road squared
definitions
away.
from the- Yes.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest, just at least for me, looking at this is one of the easier budgets for DPW. I mean, there's not much that we can really cut. Madam Treasurer.
I just wanted to just remind you that you also get 25% of the unexpended funds, but I don't expect there to be a lot of money.
I would expect there's not.
Okay.
We're
Well,
anticipating that
that's-
as well.
That, yeah, I just wanted to clarify it in my mind where all this was coming
And
from.
also, RIDOT right now is reimbursing 33%, and they're not, at this time, continuing that program. So,
Surprise, surprise.
The only question I have is what do we have coming back from the blizzard? From the state of emergency, or is that nothing as of right now?
As of right now. So, fire chief is working with state REMA. They made a presentation, essentially, Counselor, it's on the president's desk. So at the soonest that we'd hear something would probably be 4 months, was the estimate he gave today.
He's too busy.
Okay. Any other questions for DPW?
did you want me to explain
Aggregates,
aggregates and soils? Okay, so, right now, the paving budget line, any items we get, gravel, stone, sand, all come out of paving. So when we go to buy those materials, we're taking money away from actually paving a road with the contractor. So I want to take those materials out and give it its own line item. Something else we also did that you gave us permission for was Potter making gravel. And he will not show up unless you have at least like 4,000 yards or tons of material to crush, which that cost us around $33,000. But it's also a much cheaper per unit rate than you can buy it for. So that's why I'm trying to pull that out, and I was trying to get enough money to buy materials such as topsoil for loam and seed to back up the pavement that we just had done everywhere, but also still be able to make gravel as we just returned a massive pile of reclaim to the yard that, you know, we'd like to use again, because it, besides the big chunks of pavement in it, it's a really good material. So, but with those big chunks of pavement, we're gonna have to have Potter back in to break stuff up again, so.
Okay. Any other questions from the council?
Councilor Burke?
DPW, Councilor Committo.
No, you did fine, thanks.
The other new line item, which is nice to see, is the grader and an operator rental. I think that's very important to have.
Yes, so what
Start
happened
fixing
is,
some of those roads that we agreed to grade.
yes, sir, so what we did was, now that we have, 2 tractors that we can mow with during the summer, we took the mowing line item away, but then added the grader operator line item in hopes to better service those roads.
Can we get that behind a ranger school?
Yeah,
Let's start with our streets first.
and behind the ranger school should be pavement. It's pavement now, it's just badly disrupted.
We can talk to the school department about that, sir.
We will.
And I'll also remind the council as well that the previous line item of parks, maintenance, and mowing was removed from the DPW's budget and put under the recreation
Yep.
budget.
I noticed that when I was going through it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so,
Are we fully staffed in your department now?
We are fully staffed, yes.
But again, another situation I feel as though is like the fire department. Way too much work on hand for the staff that we have. And again, I think it's another important thing. I know it's not gonna happen this year or next year, but we gotta start increasing that department and getting the staff that we need to take care of our own. I would like to see a Rex. I'd like to see us taking care of our own maintenance as far as all our ball fields, all our parks, all our beaches, a maintenance and recreation division.
Well, moving the budget, that section under recreation was a first move.
I also want to add, Councilor Committo, history from folks on the Recreation Commission that have been there for quite some time. Our maintenance division used to be recreation maintenance, and at some point they morphed into town hall and other stuff. So we could figure that one out at some point.
And also, as I stated previously, the director's budget represents the increase of that part-time mechanic to a full-time mechanic assistant.
Yeah, it does. I noticed that.
And we haven't hired that person yet, or is that the person we plan on hiring?
That
No,
would be
we-
subject to a budget approval.
Right.
Right, it's got it, right, but approval, but then we're gonna advertise that?
July 1st.
Oh, yeah, dear.
Is that increase in here?
Yes, sir.
On what the salary is?
Yes, sir.
For that mechanic?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's in the salaries.
Yep, it's in
Okay,
there.
it's hidden in the salaries, right?
It's correct, it's all
it's one
one
line item.
item of
Yeah, I
what
think
the
it's the
salaries would cost.
32%
So,
change,
I guess
right?
my point to all that is, if,
No.
again, we need to pay
You're right.
appropriately to get the appropriate people in, right?
Yes, sir.
If we need diesel mechanics, we're not gonna pay them $30 an hour. We need to pay appropriately to get the mechanics that we need, right?
Yes, sir.
So I think it's worth to have that discussion to do this right, which, again, we just talked about maintenance on the fire side. If we can get the diesel mechanic in, we might be able to save a lot of money on the other side of all our apparatus, so.
Yes, sir.
It's a very important position, but we have to pay to get the right person in here.
Yes, sir.
Just my 2 cents.
And I will say, just to add that, we just settled, as you know, the AFSCME contract. And the steelworkers contract still has 1 more year. We have been talking with the steelworkers through the director and with our labor council, and we'll have a presentation to you to address that.
So, Director, to use a term from our old superintendent, what is the delta from the maintenance, or from the salary here without the additional part of the part-time?
Yeah, I say Delta all the time, too.
You learned from him.
He
Yeah.
learned from me.
So in other words, where are we with the salary and maintenance?
Right, it would be about 60,000 less.
All right, so 740 minus 60, essentially. Okay. I just wanted to know, because again, it was slipped in here, so I don't see a breakdown.
All right, so I want to switch gears to another area where you have oversight, and that would be landfill operations, which is really just the recycle center, but it also includes some landfill. You're looking for 60 grand for the landfill engineering, testing, permitting, but year to date, and the treasurer can feel free to jump in here or not, with a quarter of the year to go, we've spent under 50% of that line item budget, Madam Treasurer. Well, as of 3/31, so.
Oh, yeah, you're right, you're right.
If it was 75%, I'd be like, okay, that number is fair, but that was, the original budget number was 55,400. I'm just wondering what our actual run rate is on the actual testing that we have to do. I'm assuming that those dollars just go to par.
Correct.
Yeah.
7139,
They're
right?
only paid through the end of February, so if they've done anything since February, they have not been paid yet.
What is their, like, testing schedule? Like, how often they have to go out?
It tends to be every 2 to 3 months.
Okay. So through the end of February, every 2 to 3 months, I mean, we get one, maybe two more bills from them,
So they're due to go on.
which would be like 9 grand, 18 grand maybe.
The first two bills were 79.
Right, there's other,
So there's other things in there.
Yeah.
right, that they're completing. I'm new on the end, and I'm not.
Yeah, no,
sure
I know. I'm
quite
not- I don't
what
mean
the
to-
full contract, the town administrator is in typical contact with Mr. Thies all the time.
I mean, I can verify that number for the council and kind of give you a breakdown of what exactly the testing is, but as you all know, this testing will go on in perpetuity.
Yeah, and I totally get that. I just, if the run rate is, we're gonna be, 40 grand a year, like, maybe we can trim that budget a little bit.
Well, I mean, if it's something that is contractual based on services, I mean, we can definitely look
Yeah.
at that contract.
I think it would be advantageous for us to ask PAR what they estimate the actual spend would be and get close to that number.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Other than that, it's nice to see the bulldozer repairs are taken to zero. That makes Councilor Paull very happy, I'm sure.
We have another maintenance account to fix equipment, so it only makes sense to just have it
How about
there.
the fuel, oil, and tires went to zero?
That's
Well, we
for
had a question
building
about that.
maintenance.
The building
Questioning that
maintenance,
too.
oh. Yeah, but that's him too, right?
Yes.
That's him too.
I thought he found something in the ground.
Yeah, no, it could, I saw that today.
OWTS compliance program. Are we actually doing stuff with that other than just sending out postcards?
That is with the
That's,
administrator's office.
Okay. So that
They
falls under.
usually come and talk to us, but.
No, it's that we. It's us.
Oh,
It's our.
us
It's our
now.
legal
Oh,
responsibility.
that's right.
Comedy?
Yeah.
Carmody,
Yeah.
correct.
Oh, I thought you said comedy.
I thought you said this is a comedy, and I was like, what's wrong?
I'm sorry, to get back to the fuel, can someone give me a line item, please, just so I can?
7611.
It's
Yeah, I
under
have-
building
5130.
maintenance, but isn't that him?
Oh, 7611 I have at 67,700.
No, under
No.
5130
It's
maintenance.
under 5130 building maintenance division. The last line item there is 7611.
I have it as 5,250.
We have it as
We
zero.
have it as zero.
in
Okay.
the year.
I have it as- I have it
5,250
as
would
le-
be
yeah,
much
level
better.
funded.
Yeah, I was just wondering why we don't need
No, we need it.
fuel,
No,
oil,
we're
and
wondering.
tires anymore.
We don't.
But I will also say, when I worked with the director on his budget too, the tool and equipment replacement, he had an initial ask of $5,000 for the building maintenance division. And as the council's already discussed, those are capital expenditures, which is why that was just given a slight increase,
Yeah, I don't know why you have that.
if anything. So if he needs like tools, whether it be a,
Hand tools, capital?
exactly.
Mr. Director, what are we doing with the seasonal? Oh, go ahead.
A weed whacker is a capital purchase?
Nothing small. We're talking about like a table saw, something like that.
On sale from Home Depot for $450. CapEx.
As I mentioned to you,
Yes, sir.
I do think we need to come up with a clear definition with the
100%.
treasurer. What is capital, what isn't, especially for our casino money. And to me, I mean, I don't do this work, but big equipment, yes, but tools, I don't know that that's capital.
Okay.
I
What's the one,
would just like the standard definition of capital is something that's gonna have a longer lifespan. So like if we bought to use the table saw as an example,
Well,
we
there
bought a
is
table
definition
saw.
that State law says on capital purchases.
Yeah.
It tells you distinguishes between construction and regular day-to-day items.
Yeah.
On capital expenditures.
But I also look at it, and again, just
I
for.
know that very well,
Yep.
trust me.
And for the maintenance division, it would be a one-time purchase of the table saw and we're not doing it, but the drill bit, that's gonna be like a replacement. But again, I think this is a deeper conversation that we absolutely need to
Okay.
have.
There's not much money there for tool replacement. I mean, it's,
I know.
I don't even think he has any tools.
He does, or he doesn't have enough. That's the problem.
It's terrible.
I answered my own question on the 5180.
All right, 5,500 rubbish recycling collection. We've got it in at 1,502,410. Right above landfill operations. I'm assuming that includes tipping fees, correct?
Bottom of the page, very bottom of the page.
That was level funded from this year. So knowing that after the council made the decision, and with, given the contract and the rollover that we had, which I believe was 1.3, so that would cover tipping
Madam-
fees and other issues.
Madam Treasurer, what have we burned this year on tipping fees?
So far this year, I think, Sue, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, she's got it too.
1502410, I think.
Just tipping.
97587.
16, 17, 20,000 a month. So we're looking at about 240 a year.
Okay.
That's where I worded March.
So if it's about 240,
It varies. I mean, I've got them as low as 15 and as high as 21.
okay. So that $200,000 delta is probably good to cover it.
You did that on purpose.
I will say that's also an account that we need to use to have funds in for the catch basin disposal that we're doing now. Because we had to do that this year.
Okay.
And it'll continue to have to be, the Pawtucket landfill is gonna be able to take material for 5 years.
I know Pawtucket is a landfill, but I think it's in Johnston, sir.
No.
No, this,
Oh, this
one
is
that's
Pawtucket?
closed.
it's one that's closing
So
in the future.
Oh,
how
we're
we
talking-
did it here in Tiverton, they're
Yeah.
doing one in Pawtucket, and they take material to cover, as they're making their cover. It's a way for us at a low rate to get rid of contaminated materials.
Yep.
But it's a disposal, so we use that account to dispose
Okay.
of it.
And it's $35 per ton
Okay.
currently.
All right. So anything else for our friends in DPW? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. What have we not covered? Hang on.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. That's why I'm just gonna go through and highlight what we have covered. Street lighting expense, Mr. Administrator, I know 90 to 100,000, that's account 3380.
Yes, sir.
Looks like we are running ahead on that as of 3/31.
Well, that street lighting thing, I mean, that's third party, correct? That we pay?
Yes.
All right, so how do we get, maybe this isn't the time for the question. So, I mean, we're paying them, they maintain the lights, we pay them. Is there any maintenance with them? Like, how do we get the stuff repaired after they get knocked? They seem taped to telephone poles for months upon months upon months.
So it's my understanding that when a development goes in for the streetlights, initially the developer will put in the streetlights, and then the planning board's involved with the number of streetlights that are gonna be in.
Yeah.
Once I believe, and forgive me, I can't remember.
I guess
the-
I'm not
the
talking
term.
about the development,
Okay.
more so as the
Well,
lights
I'm talking
on,
about when they become our responsibility.
on the telephone poles. Is that what that account is?
Yeah, it's a private company that owns it.
The,
We sold it.
the lighting on the telephone poles are no longer owned by National Rhode Island Energy. We gave those over to a third party because they changed everything to LEDs, right? So,
Right.
is that the account we were just speaking of?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So who's in charge, or where's the cost? If a car accident happens, the light comes down,
Yes.
Who fixes it?
yes, who is in charge of maintaining that? Because they stay on the ground for months and months and months, taped to the pole. And if we're paying for a service, I think we need to have somebody that we can contact to put these lights back.
I agree. I haven't.
I know it's Prism, but
We contact them, but we are not always told about those being taped to a pole or on the ground.
that's
So it's when someone
that's in the
notifies
Public
me.
Works.
Yes, when they
Yeah.
notify me, oh, this pole came down, they put another one and taped to it, I usually reach out to Prism and we get that taken care of.
I never even knew that.
I'm sorry?
So,
I never even knew that.
Neither did
No, I didn't know it either. That's why I was asking, like, who was in
so
charge
the
of,
location,
See, click fix.
all right,
So people can put in,
all right, thank you. That's my only question.
All right, so, what?
Senior Center Director?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. That was the next one.
Come on
By
up,
all
Jim.
means. Yours should be pretty straightforward to rip through here, too.
Very simple compared to what I've been watching.
It's ostensibly salaries, everything else is level funded,
I only have
minus,
two requests.
water.
Two requests.
okay.
All right, I would like to give my bus driver a decent raise. He makes minimum wage at this point, and I'd like to get him up and, maybe to $17 an hour would be nice. He's at 16, which is minimum wage. The 13,250 would not be enough to do that. I'm proposing 16,796 for him, if possible.
Okay,
That would be my first request, and my second request is to have my assistant have additional hours. She only works 4 hours. I'd love to see her working 6 hours a day.
So your
You already
assistant-
gave us a nice, she was my only, asked me, employee.
but
a-
she's part-time technically,
She is
right?
part-time,
Okay,
and we still want to do part-time, but we'd like to do a part-time but a little bit more part-time, like 6 hours a day for her. But those are my only two requests. Everything else can stay. I'd love to put a raise on me, but that's, up to y'all. Very simple. Everything else is pretty much the same amount. I don't see a need to increase anything. It all seems to be pretty close to what we need. Water, electricity, we did the adjustments last year, and it seems to be right on the money. Same with activities. Like I said, the only two that I'm really looking at is to get those increases for my bus driver, who really does a lot for us, and I feel like he should be making more money. It's kind of, and Angela, I would love to see her. She did get a nice raise, but I'd like to see her with a little bit more time for us. We could really use the help.
okay.
would that either, well, the bus, no, but Angela, would that be contractual?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So that'd have to be a discussion with the union.
Yeah.
Because, and also given that she's part-time, knowing that she doesn't receive any benefits,
Right.
there's a trigger there. So that
Is
would
the
have to
trigger
be,
20 hours?
it's like 19, I believe,
So
but it might be
she's
19 or
4
No,
20.
hours.
she is 20 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And she
I
does
thought
get
had
a
the trigger.
vacation. She does have certain kind of benefits.
It would have to be a discussion with.
More
well,
medical
First off,
benefits,
it's a
right?
collective bargaining issue.
Okay.
And then also a labor issue as far as her availability to healthcare.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right, anybody have any questions for our wonderful senior center director, who has graciously allowed us to occupy your space tonight?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
No worries, thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
All right,
If the council prefers to go right down that list on that same page, we can do that as well.
yes.
So, Economic Development Commission,
6,200.
this one will take, this will be quick, and then I'm gonna take care of everything else. 6,200, obviously, this was a request from Mrs. Jones, who is our chair. She's actually asking for 0.16 less than she asked for this year, so. And then the boards and commissions, as you can see, the majority of them I've level funded. There was a small decrease on
Yeah,
the
I want to go
budget.
back to EDC too, sir.
I'm sorry.
Counselor
No,
Committo.
you can go first.
Okay.
I was just gonna ask exactly what we do with those funds and that money for the,
It's all the flyers that they give out.
She does, right. I mean, obviously, the chamber and the council dues are pretty self-explanatory, but the supplies and miscellaneous, I know she's recently done an initiative to welcome new businesses in town. She's made up certificates like a Welcome to Tiverton package. So she does have EDC has a lot of good ideas about trying to promote businesses and welcome the ones that are coming in. So that's where that supplies and miscellaneous would come from.
And be thankful that you don't have to sign those, because when they come up, I get multiple emails and phone calls until I go into town hall and sign the forms.
It also includes, I don't know what you call them, but when you go to the airport, there's a kiosk with things you pull, things to do around
The plastic.
the area. So those things, they make those and put them in various places around the state.
She still has $3,500 left from last year.
They're spending it. They're getting more. They had to redo those cards because of the change in the website, and they had a QR code on it. So the QR code doesn't work
So
anymore.
She spent some of that money?
She's spending pretty much all of what's
She
left.
spent most of it?
She'll spend pretty much all of what's left, yeah.
So my question, Mr. Administrator, is we have the line item here for Newport County Chamber of Commerce and then the Development Council dues.
Yes, sir.
I find it hard to believe that we're members of the chamber for $1,200.
I think there was one of them, and again, I'll speak with the chair, that we did not renew, which was the reason why for the decrease. And that was at the recommendation.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was the chamber.
I think it was Discover Newport, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
I know when the chair and I spoke, there was one that she didn't feel that we needed to renew, which was cause of the decrease.
Yeah, I would have concerns if we weren't part of the chamber, because we definitely don't take enough advantage of the stuff that they have.
I can speak with the chair.
So I would like to find out about that.
You know, she mentioned the other day that, was it 15 new businesses came into town?
Yeah, more than that, I think, but yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
I think it would be nice if, we took the initiative and maybe sent those 15 businesses. I mean, as a new business comes into town, send them a fruit basket, something like that.
I don't know exactly what she's bringing
What does she
around.
do? What does-
She's going to them and bringing them a care package. I don't know exactly what's in
Yeah,
that.
it's like a
care
rose or something goes with. She brings, it's more stuff than just the form. Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
because she came down to get reimbursed.
She does bring them stuff?
She
Bringing in
does.
Plants from Leo's.
Oh, plants from Leo's? Oh, okay. Dead plants from?
Personally, I think they need a Facebook page, or they need to send information to you, so that way they can be more high profile.
I know, and again, this will be a conversation that we'll have, but we actually took a pamphlet from Bristol that laid out all of the businesses, had a map inside, was a QR code. And just like, to use like I'm gonna date myself, like you get a sponsor for a yearbook,
Right.
and have the businesses like have something, so we'd like to put something together. It's definitely something that I can talk with the chair about.
I mean, if we got 17 new businesses, I don't think any of us knew who they were.
I know who they are.
You know who they were?
Yeah.
Well, if you
I had to
don't-
sign the thing for every
Oh,
one of
you
them,
had-
so.
Because the chair did a certificate welcoming each business.
Okay, so let's rip into boards and commissions real quick. There's a couple items here I think we could zero out,
I
but
don't know who they were.
You think so? Which
yes.
ones?
The Arts Council doesn't seem to want to spend any money.
Well, because there's no arts council, is
That's
there?
my point, so.
Only one member, so there's no quorum, so they haven't really done anything. in a
Well, they
few years.
can't, because it's,
Because they don't have,
so you want to bottom out 500?
We get to pick up at every last nickel we can
Oh,
on
I
this
agree,
thing.
I just, okay.
Historic cemeteries, it looks like we're looking for 10. Well,
I
have
was
you,
just gonna say. he's
have
gonna
you looked
say-
at what they've actually spent this year? Because they still have, they've only spent 34% of the 10 grand we gave them last year. That's,
I'm not sure on what the figures are, but I'm sure they are gonna spend that, the amount of work they've done.
I just would want to make sure, I mean,
We'll
yeah.
confirm that before.
Okay.
The work they've done is unbelievable.
They were just in the office buying stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew it.
As long as they're using the money, that's fine by me, but
They're fixing all those waves.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. With 3 people,
Yeah.
I don't even know how they're doing it.
Open Space Commission, they've only spent 38% of what we allocated last year.
And they have a plan for more supplies for trail maintenance and the like.
Okay.
Same with
Um,
Fort Barton Park maintenance.
They get busy this time of year, like
Yeah.
between now and June.
And there was a lot of damage from storms and the like over the winter.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Recycling.
Recycling committee should be taken down to 0. That's $100, but it's still another $100. Just because that doesn't exist. Tree commission, have they spent any dollars? They have actually spent some money this year.
Probably because of the storm.
All right. Other than that, I'd be satisfied with what we got in there.
And the Civic Appropriations, I looked, they took all of the money. Because in the past, we've given them money and they haven't come and got it.
Okay.
But they are picking it up.
And we did not add any more, but I did get requests, just so the council's aware.
Additional requests?
Yes, from other civic,
companies.
yes.
All right. You want to?
The library.
Library's up next.
The poor building department is sitting there.
I'm just going down the list as we
And
see
it's
them
ladies
here.
first.
All right. Hi, Catherine.
Hello, I moved up here a little quicker, just in case you were thinking about taking the building department.
So it looks like you're looking for 8.34% more.
I am indeed. This request comes from the Library Board of Trustees and myself. We are looking at increasing a position, a currently existing position from, it's full-time right now, so we would be making that person their current position / assistant director. So this would be a promotional opportunity for somebody that we already have. It would not be a completely new position. This is something that has been in our strategic plan for the past couple of years, but we didn't feel like it was the right time. We do feel like it is the right time right now, just with the workload that I've had. So this person would assist me with that. They would take over when I'm on vacation or out sick, and also they would still continue to do their duties as well. We've made some changes to a current part-time position so that this promotional staff member, some of their current more administrative duties are now on a part-timer. So we made some changes, some positive ones. The Library Board of Trustees appreciates that the staff are most integral part of library operations and the community help that they give. So we're excited to think about the possibilities with an extra administrator on board.
Quick question for you.
Yes.
Because I know the bulk of your staff is predominantly part-time.
Yes, I have 17.
Okay, so out of your 17 part-timers?
Yes,
plus,
not all of them are in every day. The majority of those are ones who fill in when we have shifts available.
For my own edification, of those part-timers, what's your FICA spend?
Our FICA spend at this point right now, that's a great question. I would have to, I can calculate that very quickly.
That would be fantastic.
Okay,
Don't need it now, but
okay, I'll get that for you.
thank you.
Mhm.
Any questions for library?
So are you replacing the position that you're promoting to full-time, or is that just get rid of an old position to create the new one, basically?
Yes, it's a full-time librarian position, so they would just be moving up with their current duties and adding on additional assistant director duties.
And that's the only thing that reflects that increase?
Yes, that's correct, and just a increase for staff on their anniversary. It's not much.
All right, pretty straightforward. Any other questions for the library? Look at you getting off easy. Thank
I'm
you.
always happy to spend more time with you all.
All right, let's see.
Thank you.
Tony Lynn, we gotta do that. Let me just, here we go, we gotta go all the way back. Who would you like next?
Why don't we just flip the page, Parks and Recreation?
Come on, guys. Hi, Director.
Good evening. So what questions can I answer for you?
We added a recreation director, and I know the justification, but if you want to explain that.
Sure. So over the past few years, obviously the bulk of the growth has occurred with the Recreation Commission, and we've been fortunate to add a couple of either contracted employees or seasonal employees to that base, but still, if you compare to where we are relative to other communities, most of them have a full-time recreation director. Some actually have multiple people in those roles. And so what we're proposing or requesting is to modify our current structure, eliminate what would be the events position, and then create a rec director role that would handle sort of the ongoing stuff that a lot of volunteers do, because candidly, I think we've kind of hit the edge of where we can go.
Well, we joke all the time that you're the director, and it's because for a volunteer, you do what a paid position should be doing. And eventually, and I know that you're trying to give the responsibility to other people, but the Recreation Department runs basically on volunteers. And we do have a mayoress who does a great job doing the coordination of the events, but that's why we call you the director. You do grants, you, like the whole playground, everything, which we think a paid person should be doing. Because sooner or later, you're gonna give up on us. And we know that. You've been working very hard for many, many years.
I had to go to a cardiologist this week, and that might take so, no.
No, and I just want to make sure you realize how grateful we are to you that you've done this position for this long. And you're more than a volunteer, and we kid around with you all the time.
I appreciate that, but also I do want to highlight a couple different things, that we have a really good group.
Oh, you do,
I mean, they are
without
amazing,
that.
and we've had some amazing volunteers, yourself included, and Councilor Burk for a long time was our liaison, as well as Councilor Paull. So we've had a good support structure that's enabled us to do it.
But
Having
still,
a
you
mayoress
do.
has been a
But
godsend.
you do a lot of the administration stuff, a lot of the grant writing, all of that. Like a volunteer, like we're very appreciative you do that. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Appreciate that. So we are requesting being able to bring in a full-time rec director. It would be our first full-time staff. Other items in here that may be of note, if you look at where the seasonal employees are under camp counselors, under summer recreation, just as a note, there was an issue when we submitted the budget last year where the backup didn't transfer over. So if you look at what the number is and the increase, two things happened last year. It didn't account for a full summer. It accounted for basically like a payroll period and a half. Also, because of the minimum wage that's been going up, it's continuing to go up every year, and we're actually trying to get ahead of that a little bit right now. That's one of the reasons I came before you last meeting to ask for an increase as well, to try to address it. And we're also going to see if we can do some fundraising in here as well.
So I have a specific question. Rec area maintenance and repairs, you're looking to jump that 30%. Looks like we've spent, I just had it, where are you? 66% year to date. You've got $3,100 there now. Are you going to blow through that and then another 12.5 next year, or?
Sure. So I think it was referenced before. This is a line item that wasn't under recreation this year. It was under DPW, so it would be moving over to us.
Okay.
And one of the things that we're looking at is relative to, candidly, I think porta potties falls into part of this one, and there are some repairs relative to Fogland that we'd like to do to try to get it updated a little bit more.
Okay.
So it's more reflective of that. I've had a pretty good dialogue going with our DPW director, and I appreciate his support on this. We're trying to find ways to streamline it. Something that I will offer is that based on the way that the Rec Commission, as a commission is structured, we can't approve funding necessarily unless we have a meeting. So a lot of this stuff was under the prior DPW director, left with them because they were able to move faster if there was an issue. The thought on our end here is that if we're able to get a rec director, then they can act a little bit more quickly than the commission can.
Councilor Burke.
And on that point, is there anything that would prohibit us from authorizing the town administrator to play that role until such time that we may, I'm not saying you don't need the rec director, I'm just saying to help expedite it.
I do now.
I was gonna say, and that was
Yeah,
the approach we have
let's
taken
do
in the
it.
past
Okay.
when need be.
Okay.
I would say I don't know that it's the most efficient approach, but it is a workaround.
Right, okay.
Well, and don't forget that all the boards and commissions report to
Right.
that gentleman there, so
Right.
he does have ultimate authority
Yeah,
over
no,
all
I
of
know.
them. Yeah.
But Stu had said that you had to have a meeting to authorize it, so this would.
So, the mowing services, that got moved over? Right, so the mowing services got moved over to here?
Yes, sir.
Is that 65.3? Obviously, there might have been an increase in the contract, but
That was the budget that the
is
council
that,
just approved.
does that still count? Does that include the high school?
I do not believe so, no.
No. That's
No.
the extension of the existing recreation area contract.
The high school does their own.
Correct.
Yeah, I didn't know if, because in the beginning when all this started, it was some type of joint thing going back and forth, right? You got them,
So they do, I believe they have an independent contract with DAPON.
thank you.
The camp counselors went up a bit, but I can't find it in,
It's in here, so, camp counselors 8830, camp counselors, it's, 5181.
yeah, so, yeah, no, I'm just trying to find out.
We increased the fees.
Oh, here it is.
at the last meeting.
It's under
This is the
seasonal,
expense side.
it's under seasonal.
It's under summer
employees.
recreation, which I think is in there, and then,
But 5181 is seasonal employees.
right, so
what
there's beaches for one, that's under 8790.
Okay.
And then the camps program is under 8830.
Okay. Oh, and the transportation fees is because you're hoping to do more field trips.
Some of that, it's not that we're doing an increase in it, it's that the prior arrangement we'd had with first students, they were giving us essentially like an at-cost deal, and that is no longer the case. So
Right.
we've budgeted for, and it might have been a little bit on the aggressive side to cover it. I think we'll probably come in under that, to be honest, a little bit, but based on the conversations we'd had, I think that's probably, we're not gonna be way off for that one.
How many kids actually go on, say, that those types of field trips?
Yeah, so there's, the camp right now is capped at 125 kids, and I would say about, having spoken to the camp director last week, it's about 85% of the kids, 80 to 85%
Oh,
of
so
the kids.
that's a large number.
It's a large number, so we usually end up having to get a couple of buses for each event.
All right, 'cause I was thinking of, the school department has that nice bus that sits in the parking lot, but it's way too small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we try to,
You want to keep using the school.
yeah, no, and agreed, I mean, we would love to look at other ways, I mean, we'll cut costs wherever we can.
I don't have any more questions. Yeah.
Stu, on the field trips, you asked how many roughly go. How many field trips do you guys actually have?
There are 3 off-site field trips, and then we also, and I think it's listed under here for fees, is we bring in bouncy houses for one of them, and then also bring in Dells. So it's 4 activities in total, 3 off-site.
Because the only other thing I was looking at, and I caught some of it, and I'm just trying to look at the difference here between, so the 5181 seasonal employees, that's beach and camp, based on the
That's
running.
just beaches.
No, so under 8790, which is beaches, there's a line item which is 5181, and it's listed as seasonal employees.
And that's just beaches.
That's just beaches. And the difference between the two is also that when we budget for beaches, we have to budget to wrap over between 2 budget cycles because the beaches open before this budget cycle concludes.
Correct, I'm just looking at 37,206 remaining. The
Yep.
beaches open when?
The
Memorial Day.
well, they open a little bit before that because they do the soft launch. So it's third weekend, I think, in May. We'll do sort of a limited run to let people pick up passes, and then they're open full weekends as of Memorial Day.
What do we pay our lifeguards?
It starts at 18 an hour, which compared to state beaches is close. They go up to 24 an hour. I mean, I would say that we're a little bit lower perhaps. We've tried to, one of the things, we had a meeting with the beach folks today, we're trying to create a pipeline for the beaches the same way we have with a counselor and training program for the camps. So with the beaches, we introduced a junior lifeguard program last year that we borrowed the framework from South Shore Beach, the great partner. And what we were actually talking about today is, I know years ago there was a swimming program as well. And so looking at how can we, I guess there was one woman that pretty much like everybody in town learned from.
I learned my swimming.
So we were looking at how do we create those kind of pathways to self-feed for a couple of reasons. One, because we'd like to provide opportunities for kids that are in town to have employment, but also I don't know that we're going to be able to beat out some of the private beaches, candidly, and so we want to be able to have that in front of them as an option.
It was an issue a few years back where we couldn't get them, right? Like,
Because we didn't pay them well.
Well, it was,
Right,
there was
I mean,
a number
that's
of
a lot of
different
things,
things. Yeah, Emily Mello, who's our head lifeguard, we went from, I think 2 years ago, we had 3 lifeguards at the start of the season, and I met with her today, and I think she has 8 or 9 lined up.
great.
So a lot of credit to her for the heavy lift.
So, I just wanted to finish up on mine. So the 18,000 and the treasurer is here, not 18,000. The 37,206 remaining pretty much is 18,000 for May, 18,000 for June. What do we roughly pay monthly for lifeguards? I don't know if you don't have it broken down by month. Probably,
Lifeguards? No, not here. That would have to be.
because I can't imagine we're paying $18,000 a month for lifeguards.
Well, it's not just the lifeguards. You do also have the gate attendants. Now,
But again, beach employees, seasonal employees, beach staff.
so I had our treasurer go through and do an evaluation of this, and her assessment was that we were going to come in pretty close to using that number. I can definitely get a breakdown of what she was reviewing for you.
Because my next question, of course, dabbles into policy, which there's arguably who dictates policy, but sometimes there's 2 gate attendants, sometimes there's 3. And then there was this decision that was made last year, the year before, to have 2 lifeguards sitting at the beach holding hands versus 1. I'm trying to figure out where we can.
Sure. So I can tell you what the discussions that we've been looking at this year are, is that for Fogland in particular, I think it's important to have multiple lifeguards on. We're actually looking at, one of the things that's interesting is where the swim area isn't where people swim. Why not? So we're having a discussion about moving that to a different location. There's an ongoing discussion about that. And then looking at how we have, thankfully, you had approved another lifeguard chair, having 2 chairs and then having multiple lifeguards. One of the things we've also looked at is the rotation. And if you look at how YMCA's work, and from the feedback we've gotten from Little Compton, having 3 seems excessive until you look at what the rotation and the workflow for them are. It's a matter of what they're doing. And I think, you and I have had this conversation before as well. It's the oversight of
You
it.
just hit another nail on the head, though. So what does a lifeguard get versus a beach gate attendant?
So the starting salary for a gate attendant is 16, which is the minimum wage, whereas for a lifeguard, it's 18 because that's competitive with what's.
So have you guys considered, especially now that we have 9 lifeguards, giving the lifeguards priority at the gate over basic gate attendants, and they can swap during the day, they can rotate during the day, so that way you have certified lifeguard at the gate, certified lifeguard on the beach, versus 2 gate attendants that are not certified, and 1 lifeguard on the beach.
Yeah, so I think some of that would be a question of how the compensation would work, because if you're dealing with a compensation for a gate attendant, it's normally at 1 rate, and a person's a lifeguard at another, I think, and I just candidly don't know the answer to it. We'd have to look at what rate would they receive relative to where they are. If we're looking at having lifeguards. I think this did come up before.
You're looking at a couple dollars an hour, and the difference being, of course, 1 versus 2 at the gate, if you were just asking what the difference would be.
Yeah, what is the difference? Why would you want a lifeguard, or why would a lifeguard want to work the gate? I'm just trying to figure out.
Get out of the
To break
out
up
of
the
the sun.
monotony, but I can tell you right now, I've had somebody answer this question to me as, well, that's not what the kids want to do these days, so we're trying to cater to them. Warrentown Beach, they rotate. Barrington Town Beach, 7 lifeguards, all lifeguards, they rotate. 2 at the gate, beach house, beach chairs, they rotate every hour. They love it. So, I'm just saying, versus sitting on the beach for an hour, for 6-7 hours straight, they could take a break and go to the gate, stay in the shade, relax, still deal with the gate, but you also have 2 certified people on. I don't want to say that the gate attendants, because I believe that we do certify them CPR and stuff, but the lifeguards are a little bit more in tune to that stuff as well. So You essentially have that second rescuer there as well.
Yeah, which I think to have the second lifeguard or somebody second, I think they're working too, especially on the beach.
But again, that was new as of, I believe, last year,
Right,
when we
without a
just
doubt,
decided to
it's
throw two on.
more important. I mean, I just think that's great, but I think that other stuff, wouldn't that be a policy stuff within?
But that's the question again. I mean, if
Yeah,
we're looking
I
at
don't
cutting
know.
money here, that's something that they may end up having to do regardless, so.
Oh, so instead, so the 2 lifeguards that we have now, when we work the gate and we get rid of the gate attendants. Is that what you're saying?
Not get rid of them, but give priority to lifeguards. To work the gate shifts.
So, but would that cut down on the
Does
total
that
number of
save
personnel on the
money?
beach at any given time?
Yeah, would that save money?
But again, arguably, do you need 2 people at the gate? I've been to the beaches when there's been 3 people at the gate. I mean,
Well, and I think to your point, I think there's 2 different elements to it. And we were talking today about peak hours versus non-peak hours for gate attendants. I think if you're looking at what our discussion is sort of centered around is that we've had a tradition, in part because we haven't had as many lifeguards, of having somebody as a lifeguard who's there for a full day. And what we're moving towards is shorter time on the beach, so doing half days and then rotating out in that way so that people are fresher, or at least moving to the other beach so there's a break in between, as well as staggering more than we've done in the past. I think with the gate attendants on weekends, probably warrants having 2 based on volume. On a Tuesday morning, it may not necessarily be needed. And we, just to share, we had just hired a beach manager, Jessica Cullinan, who's also the high school tennis coach, who
She's
is also
really
a Glitter
good.
Committee former person. So she's a rock star. We're psyched to have her as well. So I think it's a valid point. I mean, looking at being meaningful with where personnel are absolutely makes sense. I think we're in a better situation than we've ever been to be able to do that now.
So, question for you, Stu. I'm looking at the online and credit card processing fees. And I understand we have to budget that, right? Obviously, if that number goes up, the revenue's gone up significantly through that channel because we're, paying per swipe plus a percentage of the transaction.
Yeah.
I don't see how we're gonna go jump 250% there when we did $357,000 in these fees last summer from July to September.
So I respectfully, I'll actually defer to the church. I think you had put that in there, Denise, if I'm not mistaken. The line item for 8790-7590 for online credit card processing.
I'm wondering if
I thought the user
that's
paid,
Park Mobile fees.
I thought the user paid the fee.
There are fees the user pays, but there's also service fees to Park Mobile. But I don't know.
We pay Park Mobile fees, but I'm wondering,
That number had been in there before, but
I remember doing 500 from last year. But when you were looking at sales tax, we have to have that discussion.
Well, that's right, because parking now gets a sales
Yes.
tax.
Yes,
There's nothing in the world that the General Assembly will not tax in this state.
yes, yes. So I don't know what the town administrator was thinking about that when
Yeah.
they put together these numbers.
Yeah.
Council's gonna have to make a decision about whether, for lack of a better term, we're going to eat the sales tax.
We're not, because I just went into the Providence Place Mall, I parked for an hour, or whatever it was, like an hour and change, and it said your fee is $2.07.
Or,
Or 14 cents, whatever it was. I'm like, this is just dumb.
but I know the treasurer brought it up today during our department head meeting regarding the interpretation of what the statute says regarding a seasonal pass. If it's being used for more than, if you sell a seasonal pass and it's more than 30 days, even though you don't have to use it for 30 days, but its intent is 30 days, would that waive the sales tax? So we're gonna speak with the solicitor to get an interpretation on that as well.
All right.
Who's the tax? But you gotta remember something. You can't expect, in my opinion, the kids at the gate to be making change. For,
Yeah.
you wanna add the sales tax on Park Mobile and it automatically works with the credit card. That's an easy fix, but to expect the kids to be, we don't even have pennies anymore.
I mean, it's 2026. How are we not just doing tap to pay with our phones?
Well, that's
Some people don't do that.
we've added tablets at the gate so people have the ability to use a credit card at the gate, but there are still people that are adamant about using cash, and I would echo that comment. I think there are going to be places where if we try to get into anybody who drives through anywhere, it's like, the tie goes to the runner or not, depending on how much change you need. And I worry about it slowing down a lot of things and getting frustrated people.
I think we did far better collecting beach revenue when we started back to cash than when we.
Oh, I'm not saying we should get rid of cash. I mean, maybe there's a cash discount and no sales tax.
But speaking of policy, that was, the beaches were not collecting cash until it was discovered that they needed to.
Mm-hmm.
But they made that policy, we didn't.
Right.
No, we made the policy when we set the budget. Setting a budget is making policy.
No, but I'm talking about collecting cash versus not.
There is a separate issue with this, is that if we were to change the fees, we would have to go through the same process we did for the summer camp, which is going out public hearing. And so based on the timing of when we're opening, not to dissuade that from being what the council decides, just mindful of we're getting into the season.
Curious though, like, so when we collect all that money at the beach every day, or
We're not taking receipts.
how do we collect it? And who collects it? And where does it go from, once we close the box at the end of the day? And how does it get to somebody, or the treasurer's office, or how do we hold out those funds accountable?
Sure, so when it comes in, each of the day passes has a number on it. And so we start off with whatever the day pass number initially is and then record at the end. So it's how many passes were sold. And then the cash goes into cash bag that, I believe it goes to Bank Newport instead of to...
Beach coordinator.
I just want to be careful about that.
Yes. So there is a process that should probably be talked about offline so that
Yes.
it's not.
Sure.
I guess my point being is, if we're,
I understand, but yeah, I definitely have.
The police officer.
Well, we only
No,
discussed
and
two.
I do think that's
I appreciate that, but I definitely have questions about it.
Yes, sir.
and I do want to point out, just based on what you're talking about, there is an individual who's no longer on the Recreation Commission who was a pretty regular attendee at the beaches and was an escort during that process. So just to be really clear, it's not just one person roaming around. Like, there are other elements that we took care of for security.
so, but I guess what
The follow-up thing was like, what, like John was, so we don't have accountability of the cash coming in, do we?
Well, we do because of the
So
tickets.
I buy ticket one, it's written down that I buy ticket one.
We give a ticket at the beach.
Right,
When
yeah.
you come in, you get a ticket if you don't have a pass.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Season passes are numbered, as are resident, non-resident, and then day passes are all numbered. So the sequencing, the only time that we ever have a problem is if somebody has poor handwriting or makes a mistake on a ticket, and then we just have them log that so we can track it.
Thank you.
I mean, it's effectively like we're just gonna take the revenue hit on whatever the sales tax is.
This is the first year this is,
Figure out how to determine the day pass.
Yeah, it's.
I would like to figure out what the other beach communities are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all,
I mean, to be honest, I would say it's because this is was put on us sort of on the later side, it might be worth going down this road of taking a year with what's proposed and figuring it out, and then we can evaluate for next year based on the feedback we get.
All right, that answers my question. Any other questions on Parks and Rec? No? Everybody good?
I'm good.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Mr. President, while you're waiting for whomever is next, I checked with Renee. It is Discover Newport that we stopped.
Okay,
Newport Chamber is still there.
good.
Well, we have building, planning.
Tax assessor's office, this is pretty straightforward here.
The tax assessor was unavailable. He will be available for.
Oh, sorry.
meetings. This is our
Tax collector, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong line item. We're running into the witching hour here, so.
It's at the beginning.
It's 2150 under the treasurer's, which is finance and administration subsection. I don't have, I'm looking at a spreadsheet.
Yeah, I'll give you the page number in a minute. Tax assessor is page
five.
4. It's my page 4. It's your page 9? Oh, are we doing tax assessor?
Tax assessor,
Collector.
tax collector.
Collector, okay. I thought you were talking about, it's page 5.
I gotta be honest, I I'll speak for myself, I have no questions on this. It looks like we get basically AFSCME increases
Yeah, I don't
And
have
the
any.
salary schedule, the salary that we already approved.
She has to say something, she sat here all
All right, let's.
Talk to me about software maintenance. This 4.72% increase is unacceptable.
Oh, well, there,
And you're so good at collecting taxes that we're cutting the amount that we have to get to the the collection agency services.
Well, some of that is the result of, we used to turn over all the motor vehicles. We're no longer turning over motor vehicle accounts, so the accounts we're turning over are going down.
and education seminars, it was 0,
That is a
0.
brand new line item.
Yes.
So I've been slowly introducing myself, dipping my toe in the water with some online seminars that the New England Regional Tax Association offers. So I'm just really getting
Good.
interested in those courses.
Good. You want to ask something else, quick? Well, it looks
Well,
like
it was
it
new last year.
It was new last year, yeah. I just wanted to, and
And we've zipped the telephone budget to 0 because that's all going into town hall, correct?
Correct.
All right, beautiful. I got nothing else. Anybody got anything else? I'm very sorry we made you wait this long.
Thank you.
Postage went up minuscule.
now we're making up things, okay?
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
I don't even have to ask you. If I had made you cut 10%, you can't even do it. There's nothing here.
There's not much to cut.
Mr. Administrator, what's your preference? Should we make land use wait?
We'll bring the planner and the building official.
Okay, come on.
I have one quick question here under the comments. They have 997 next to the automobile expenses, 6913, Mr. Administrator.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, I gotta find the page here.
We're going up now, backwards to the front.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Salary's all pretty straightforward. Copy services are flat. Postage is flat. What is that under automobile expenses in the comment section, 997?
Oh, it's a note to yourself.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'll disregard that.
Education seminars went up.
We're bumping. Is that a mandated thing, or is that because the planner's here and he also has CE requirements?
Both the planner and the building official get a $5,000 a stipend each.
Okay.
For continuing ed.
That's good. I'd like you guys to be brushed up on what you do.
We'll try.
Talk to me about the software maintenance.
Well, we get reimbursed for that by the state every year. That's
Okay.
our roping gulf for the online permitting.
All right, so basically we include it, but it's an offset when we get to the revenue side. Okay.
We don't include it as revenue.
Oh, no.
You would get reimbursed directly to the expense if we receive it in the same year. I'm aware that we get reimbursed. Is that something that's gonna happen every single year?
What do we think?
We have to budget.
I know. If they cut us off because the
They cut
state's,
us off, we have no money.
yeah,
Well, it's a state mandated platform, so.
Which means they'll probably cut you off.
yeah, probably, probably next year. You know,
Those legislators.
or they'll just tax the reimbursement. You know, I have no questions on this.
Unfortunately, I don't.
I mean, I think you have to leave it in just because, like as you said, we have to account for the expenditure.
You're talking 7530?
Yes.
Yeah, which he's not even asking for an increase.
No, I know, but it's 15 grand. I'm just looking for anywhere we can nickel and dime some money,
Software seems to be going up everywhere.
which is crazy because SAS is dying.
We can stop using the phones.
It's all under one line item, so that's a zero.
Consultant, such a high number for, oh, sorry, that's the town administrator.
We'll get to that in a minute.
That's the town administrator, sorry.
Gentlemen, please accept my apologies for having you here until 9:30.
Sir, the planner.
Yep.
Just on 1070 at the top of the page, if you could just the 6,000 and the 10,000, the professional technical service subdivision regulation amendment.
Yep.
any backup. I know, we level funded it, obviously. But just based on your knowledge of where we are and how those funds are used.
Yeah, I mean, generally, we're gonna be using it wherever we need additional assistance. Sometimes we'll need an engineering to look at certain things that we don't have that capacity to do. But in general, most of the professional, technical stuff is gonna be, we're gonna start pushing that on the developments, so.
So I actually have a question now because I'm looking at what we've expended year to date, and obviously we've had a ton of projects and stuff here, and yet we've spent under 0.5% on the professional technical services through 3/31. Maybe we cut these items in half.
I would, if the council so sees fit, and if no objection from the planner, I'd probably say, I know it's $10,000, maybe 5.
Yeah, no,
And the other one, I'd remind the council to 1080, and this is something that I can speak with the solicitor about and also the planner. The reason why that number went up so much was because, I believe it was because of the Seasons hearing, and that we had to have a stenographer there for all of those hearings.
Yeah,
So-
well, it's 7,500 last year, 7,500 this year.
Correct,
but-
but the year before was 11,000, so.
The actual. Because we
Right,
had
that's
that.
the actual.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
But, oh, yeah, it was 4,500, yeah.
Right.
I mean, I could see us zipping 200 and 2,500 bucks off of that based on where we've spent so far this year.
And-
Just making a
and
note.
what about the automobile expenses? Is that because
It's
we're,
under the administrator.
Oh, no, that's under the
No.
planner.
Yeah,
The
it's
building official has a vehicle.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
and there'd be some mileage probably fall under that as well.
that's just that's mileage
Mileage and gasoline.
and gas? Is that enough for gas?
For now.
The fuel stuff?
I mean, it's double, and I know, I mean, obviously, the
Well,
building
he
officials,
doubled it.
the building official is on call, so, obviously, he takes the vehicle home, so this way he can come out, which he does quite frequently. I'm comfortable with that number. I mean, I'll talk to the treasurer and take a look at it just to see what we've spent so far.
Oh, I have that, but I don't.
I'm not questioning the number.
I understand, ma'am.
I'm questioning, is it high enough?
I
actually?
understand.
While we're on this page, how do you guys all feel under 1090 about writing or bumping up the sergeant to 1,500 where he used to be at?
You know
He
what?
refused last time.
He did. We tried to do that
Adamantly
last year.
refused.
He did.
Is that what was our audio
Well,
taking here?
here's what we could do.
Put it in the budget.
Because remember, it's up for election, and he may have refused, he may be the only one in again,
Mm-hmm.
but he may not be, so you put it in there for future positions, and he can still say, thank you, but I don't want it.
I think I would add to that or just comment on that. And this is going on for quite some time, and this is no disrespect to the current town sergeant, but this position itself is kind of,
Well, he works during elections.
It's not just.
It's,
no,
yeah.
I understand that. But again, even then, we have election officials that go out as well.
But doesn't he,
No, he-
does he
he
get
does
the
the
election
money.
official rate when he goes?
This is the only payment he gets.
Yeah.
So I use him to transport to,
With the police officer, yeah.
and I take it as it's covering his gas.
But he goes in a police car, no?
No,
No,
He takes
he
his own
takes his own
vehicle.
vehicle.
All right. I know the previous one went with the police.
Just gonna make a note to bump it up.
automobile expenses, is that what, we have spent 2,600.
Where are we? Still under planning?
Yeah, don't you remember you said you'd,
1140 land use, automobile expenses,
Okay.
6913.
we were just talking about that and you increased it to 3,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Year to date, we've spent 2,665.
So we're probably looking at maybe like 35 to.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah, because we're in the red in that account.
Yeah, I think I had brakes and some work
Yeah.
on the vehicle, so
There you
that
go.
was unexpected.
Yeah, so, I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
you've been on the road a lot more this year.
Sure, a lot more inspections.
Yeah. More
There'll be a
fines,
lot more.
violations, let's go.
Tom, who does the maintenance work on that vehicle?
Patrick does that,
Property
That's
tax
what, okay.
revenue.
I wasn't sure if it was him.
Okay, while we're here, salary, probate court, 1970. There's nothing to do there.
That's not under the.
No, I'm just looking at it and just,
All right, so are we done with them? They can go home.
yes, yeah, they're done.
Thank you.
Thank you for waiting. Why is Stu still here? Just hanging?
He's a glutton.
All right.
The probate, software went up.
Yeah, is what it is, unfortunately.
Do you want to look at town council?
You want to look at town administrator while you're on the
Yep.
same page? Because I know, I'm sure there'll be questions about 6890.
Yep. But I think I know what that is, but go ahead.
Okay.
Because I didn't read it, so I must have understood it.
So the 6890 is the contractual contingency for the AFSCME contract. So as part of the AFSCME settlement, they get a fixed contractual pay raise, but the department heads, through evaluation, may
I didn't understand.
increase the salary. But obviously, that is contingent upon you funding it. And that was built into the language of the contract. So,
Okay. I didn't understand that. I thought it was something else.
Can I get the IT question? Who had the IT question?
No, I understand it now.
I mean, it goes back to, sir, I mean,
Everybody, that's,
correct, sir.
yeah, yeah.
So when you look at police, fire,
I was not paying attention, I thought it was on the.
no, you're fine, sir. And now, I mean, eventually you'll talk to the schools. I mean, it's something we should definitely look into, that we can have, I mean, right now we pay a consultant to come in. I would like to have more of an overall consultant, because just knowing that the person that does it now is kind of, and he does a fantastic job, but to kind of put it under one umbrella.
Bonds and stuff that when we do the final one.
Do most municipalities have their own?
They do.
I thought so.
They do.
Isn't East Greenwich one of the few that has combined
My
back
glasses,
office
I can't
functions?
see your screen.
I believe so. I also know that Portsmouth,
I'm not that old.
the IT consultant is housed in the police department, but it's townwide, and Middletown also. In Middletown, Newport, they have like an IT division. And I believe, and I have to double check on this, they moved into a school municipal type of model as well.
Don't get Mr. Perry started.
I didn't have any questions for that. I don't know if it. Can we talk council contingency?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have no contracts this year that we
do
have to
not.
worry about.
The only contracts that you have are your department heads. That's it.
Okay. So that, I think that 200 is a little high, if you ask me.
I do not disagree.
I already assumed we would cut at 50.
I was gonna cut it 100.
Would you mean 50%?
No, 50 grand, but
Because look at 2024, 2025. The actual was only 22,000.
Some of that gets transferred
I
out.
was just gonna say.
Oh, so, okay.
Actually,
Well, I thought that was, okay, I get it.
you don't have the whole picture right here.
All right, thank you for that, because that seemed low. I mean, we could go 50, but we usually
I think
use
we
this.
pull at least 50.
I also don't think there's been any allocation for the potential of an ASU buyback now that they can buy their sick time back.
I thought it's in the budget.
Josh did, but like, I don't have a buyback number, line item. Tony Lynn doesn't have a line item. Dave Robert doesn't have a line item. Joe doesn't have a line item.
We need to figure out what the actual
Yeah,
risk
but we
is.
need to talk about it.
It should be in council contingency.
Yeah, which is fine. We need to know what the actual exposure is on a given year.
I came up with $85,000.
If,
If no one
it-
called out sick and we brought back all, it's fine.
oh, well, that's the max.
That's the max for everybody.
I work from the max and then
Yeah.
I think we cut that number in half, the 85 in half. I think our exposure is probably somewhere around
Yeah.
47.5.
I would agree, at least to go down to 150.
47.5? I'm thinking 47.6.
All right, so I think, Craig,
that-
I want to
that's-
go home.
It's 9:30, we're getting punchy now.
But what all that is to say is that if the exposure is 47.5, we can.
Craig's gonna bid $1.
No, but it's not the price is right. Come on down. I think we'd be fine zipping 100,000 out of the contingency. If
Yeah,
that's,
me too.
If that's the exposure for this year.
We could go 150 if you want, but just keep in mind, this goes back into the general fund if we don't spend it, and we tax people for it, and that always bothers me.
All right, so,
I think we have to find money where we can, and that's a good place to
I
find
think
it.
100 is appropriate there.
6954 and 7152 under council.
What about that?
I'm just looking at advertising ordinances, 25,000, spent 57, 19,228's available.
actually, that's a good question. The updates from zoning, that was a separate line item, the 7152.
Advertising ordinances comp plan, 7152, yeah, 16,000.
Well, we're doing the comp plan this coming budget, or this coming budget
Is that
cycle.
10,000
Well, Joan
available?
would be a good one to answer that.
Did we just talk previously about council, the deputy chief and the police chief out of that account too, right?
Correct.
So cutting it to I don't expect their pay raise to be that big, but.
No.
I wouldn't worry about it. I don't
Thank
think.
you.
So, advertisement. So what are you saying, David? We need to,
I mean, anything is a trim. I mean, I'm not saying bring
Yeah.
25,000 down to 10, but can we go 20? Can we go 22?
well, like I said, Joan knows.
You've had a lot of zone changes. I don't
Yeah.
know in the next year how much.
It's
more
probably gonna be
zone
much
changes
more.
You have, and you have to advertise them 3 weeks in a row.
Correct.
And then you had some where you had to re-advertise,
Mhm.
like you just did.
And we still
And
haven't,
that's like 500 a pop.
yeah. And we still haven't gotten into the list that we gave the planning board that we wanted them to look at again.
And we still have a big
It's
list
still a big list
That's
coming.
gotta come to the planning
But
board.
I'm just saying that this, of the many that you're saying that we've already done, there's still 20,000 essentially left, or cut it down to 19,000 left in the account. That's all I'm saying. I mean, she already said we had a ton advertised, so.
This is only through March, right?
March 31st.
So, town council, 1020, 7152, which I know was probably close to 16,000. Again, 500 a pop for the zoning.
As of the end of March,
$2,000 this month, April.
2,000.
all right, so I was gonna say, as of the end of March, that's 7152, we still had 10 grand left. It was only 34% expended, but if we get another 2 on there, we're getting closer to 50%.
So you can probably change the 20,000, 25 to 20. But, again, I don't know where the time frame is for the comp plan.
It'll be a what? It won't be.
Where do we do the advertising for the budget referendum and all that?
That's.
Yeah, out of
That
there
comes
too,
from
yeah.
here,
so-
yeah.
So and that's a large page.
All right,
That's
so
like,
let's delete that then. We'll mark that one to look at again in the last meeting. Yeah,
John, how about legal services?
yeah, I think we take it to 0.
He left, so.
7160.
Yeah,
that went up.
Prosecutions. So, as you know, prosecutions are the police department's solicitor.
Yep.
Because all the misdemeanors are prosecuted by the police department. So we were fortunate enough to have someone who recently resigned. We have an acting, we have to go out to bid. The thing that also, and the research that we've done, because it's in Newport County. It would also be municipal court as well, when necessary. Looking at what all the other district court prosecutors get from all the other respective Newport County departments, that's right in line.
Yeah, because.
They bill hourly though, no?
They do bill hourly, but also they bill differently depending on case preparation. If they go to trial, they meet with the police.
We have 13,000 left in that account.
I know. No, we were fortunate up until this point. Because like I said, we have an interim police prosecutor. We need to go out to bid, and then the council needs to decide on who the new prosecutor will be. I just want to be able to bring somebody in competitively.
Yep.
And one of the issues that did come in was we did an analysis of the number of arrests and cases that are prosecuted in district court by the police department. And we are at or above Portsmouth, partially because of the casino. So, and that's because it's all misdemeanors.
Yeah,
You know,
in-
obviously, felonies are prosecuted by the Attorney General's office, so that was part of the rationale of that.
Staying in legal services, could we zip 10 grand off of the Labor Council? I mean, we only have what? What do we have coming up next year?
We start negotiations with the steel workers in
June.
in January of '27 and the police.
Of
So-
27?
Police expire in '27. So.
If you're gonna cut that, you're gonna go back and cut prosecution. I mean, keep in mind, the 128050 that's remaining is of an original budget of 20,000.
Tentatively put that down.
What are you looking at?
Labor Council. Labor Council, land use zoning issues is the other one, 7175, because it looks like 3/4 of the way through the year, we are at 60% expended.
Labor Council, actually, we still have 26,000 left in there.
Yeah, but with knowing there's 2 contracts coming up that will start midway through the next budget cycle.
Yeah, but what did we do during this budget cycle? Oh, ask me. Only ask me. We did something else.
Well,
No, fire finished the last one.
correct, and when we did ask me, I mean, Tim was there, and it wasn't as contentious, I'll put it that way, so.
As some of the others have been.
Why are we at 0 for reviewing and rewriting zoning code?
I don't know.
We were at 0 last year, and we were at 0.
Clerk's
Did we
side,
put
maybe?
that someplace else?
All I did, Counselor, was carry over
No,
what we did,
yeah.
so I
I'm
was under
just-
the assumption that it was a decision made prior to me.
I don't recall why.
I'm getting old, I'm trying to read.
Film crew comes in under here. Who? Our film.
These gentlemen who are live streaming us to the interwebs.
Isn't it council
It comes out of council.
council contingency?
So you don't cut that entirely.
No,
No.
we didn't.
Well, I know in the past, there's been talks about giving them an increase because of the amount of work they do.
True.
And it also takes an hour in some cases, or in most cases, to set up. And I believe that they haven't gotten an increase in quite some time as well.
I don't, what do they get? We don't.
That's would be for the administrator.
Guys, you want to tell us what you make?
Well, because they have to set up both sound and video at this location, because we're not at the town hall.
Right.
I'm paying, I think, $175 per meeting while we've been
Doing this.
relocated. So once you get back into the town hall, there'll be only one
Dad,
meeting
I can't
versus
figure
2
out
people
why we got rid of
for
that.
the setup.
Right,
Because
yeah,
it
'cause
takes
it's-
time
The setup will
to
be
set up.
set up already, right?
Yeah,
It's
they
gonna
just
be somewhere else.
plug in.
It's gotta be somewhere else.
So that's a town council meeting. What about, is that the same for other off-site meetings?
Well, they only
Or
do
is
planning.
everybody, planning, zoning, they're all gonna be back in town hall?
And those are the only ones that really get taped.
Well, sometimes they're not at town hall because town hall's being used.
Right, sometimes you have large issues, so they
Right.
are at the auditorium.
Well, they-
The
they already
high
do it.
school or
And then that
something.
would be-
We have
Yeah.
to-
Does-
that's
Does it make sense to have a separate line item so we can see what
See
this
what-
expense is gonna be going forward?
I would agree, but I would also think that we should look at a slight increase
Yeah,
there as well.
All right, so,
I think-
so I would.
I don't know how to increase it.
All right.
So this way we can like pull that out.
Steve, talk
I
to them.
think that would be ideal.
They would-
We can pull the invoices
Yeah.
together, and
Let's-
I'll get it to the.
Let's do that, and let's make it a line item under your budget on the clerk side.
I mean, they've been fantastic. And they do.
Look at, is that all right? Well,
Okay.
Would it be under, yeah.
but then she would decide on the,
Well, I think it should be under the clerk anyways, because you think she taking the meeting notes, and this is effectively a digital
Yeah.
meeting note, so.
Should be under recreation.
All right.
you don't want it?
Certainly, we are the ones that schedule it.
Yeah,
Council
it's,
meetings.
you handle all of it.
If there's planning board meetings that are taped, they schedule those, but all the bills
Go to,
come to me, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll add that.
All right.
Okay, so we're good zipping Tim Cavazza down 10 grand.
Labor Council.
Yeah,
Tim Cavazza.
he is the guy. All right, I don't want to it's obviously it's getting late, so I don't want to drag this on any further.
When you, when we do the agenda for next week, could we put in other budgeting and other
Yeah.
departments when it, so we can
Here's-
talk about it, because the schools is not gonna take this long.
No.
So we might have a couple of, an hour so that we can review the budget again.
So-
Is that a good idea? Yeah.
I agree. I think we do that before we get into the schools, and just so everybody's aware, we have 9960 debt service, we have municipal capital, which is 0980, which is restricted, we have Board of Canvassers, Town Hall operating expenses, we have the tax assessor, the treasurer, town clerk. I just marked you as done because there's no real
Yeah,
changes
because we
there.
can't, oh, all right, but,
Tax sale, insurance, audit of town accounts, pension plans, social security, unemployment, underfunded liabilities, sick vacation.
and then I think in the past, we just put in any other department we want to look at, like
Yeah,
something
no,
like
the
that.
whole, I mean, I think you put it in for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
rattled
kinda
them
short
off.
ones.
So I think we're in a good position here. We should be able to bang the rest of that out at the next meeting.
If not, we'll just.
And if not, we have the third before we go to the final. Are we gonna include revenues? We need to go over revenue, or are we gonna do that at the last meeting? I would like to look at revenues just at the next meeting, so we get the whole picture as far as where we're at.
If we meet on the 12th, what time?
6.
I think you're meeting on Thursday the 7th. That's your
Right,
next meeting.
but the last day we can meet to set the budget.
Is the 13th. So per the charter, it's town council adopted a preliminary unified budget ordinance. It's scheduled
After,
public meeting
after
no
the,
later than
After
5:30.
next week.
after next week?
Oh, the week after.
Yeah.
It's pretty functional right now.
I cannot be here on the 13th.
Municipal and revenue.
And revenue, yes. And just
And it's
so,
at 6 o'clock here.
You come back before 2.
just based on some of our,
I don't blame you.
our discussions tonight, originally the ask in front of us was a municipal increase of 9.58%, and based on some of the consensus items I was keeping track of, it looks like we're down to 5.63%. So still a little bit of ways to go, but
But there's still areas we can touch.
there's still a lot more areas that we can
Yes.
touch, so.
I think David's idea to look at capital.
9.58% year-over-year increase to a 5.63%.
Yeah, we did good. What?
5.63%. I have like alterations where I've just kept a running tab on here. I made
Yeah.
another column in the spreadsheet. All right.
When we get a completed budget, can we buy a Batman and Robin cape for Tom and Frank?
I was thinking the Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday setup.
We are punching in its quarter of 10.
All right, so with that, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, second.
Motion and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?